There you go. Looks like I'm live. How are you guys all doing? Howdy, howdy. Can you hear and see me well? This is a new setup for me. So could you please write something in the comments? Hopefully you give me 5 by 5 if you can hear me well and see me well. Anyone? Live chat. Everything is seen. We have Lorna here. Lorna, Konstantin's updated message shows 2:30 New York time, which is wow. That's strange. Lorna, well, I am live. Perhaps it's the new iPhone. I was meddling with it a little bit. Can you guys see me, hear me well? Excellent. I suspect the usual suspects here. Let me pour some tea. I'm doing a live from home. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get outside and explore Moscow due to two reasons. First is it's cold out. I don't mind being cold, but as long as I can stop by, get inside a little cafes, get a hot tea or hot coffee or something like that. And I most definitely cannot do that today because everything is closed. The center of Moscow looks deserted again because our lockdown is still in effect and it ends in a couple days. And I am doing the live from home. Okay, guys, thank you for joining the usual suspects: William S., Terry, Lorna, of course, Isa, Deborah, Carol, Army Hill, Ross Matthews, A plus Russian, Esser Captain, Andy Thompson, and Joe Snake. Hello, guys. I will try to make this an interesting live stream. I have a few messages for you, kind of important messages for me, and well, I'm gonna have messages for you, which are important to me, and gonna give you some more information on the lockdown, some more information on what's going on between Russia and the United States because the news are developing, unveiling, and would like to give you a little bit about the news about like what's going on in Russia, the news in general. What's in the top corner? That's a little installation hanging upside down. That's not my room. That's Dasha's, my 13-year-old, and she has the pictures all over the walls and things like that. I think that's something from Harry Potter movie or a book. I'm not sure how about you guys, but I can see myself much better. And this is the result of I finally have gotten the new phone. Well, video camera slash phone, iPhone 13 Pro. And this is fantastic so far. You guys let me know in the comments if that's something that you have upgraded to. The cameras are insane. Seriously insane. Whew, let me tell you. Well, I see some questions. Okay. Let me synchronize with my computer so I can read. I'm going to be answering many more questions today because I'm not walking. I'm not trying to describe you what I'm seeing around. I'm not trying to concentrate on the street and things like that, on the people. It's much easier for me to give you feedback for you guys, but I'm not sure how if it's as interesting for you to watch these streams. I think when I'm out and about in Moscow, it's more interesting. But Again, I don't mind when it's cold. It's just I don't like not to be able to get inside for just a few minutes here and there, Miserable, miserable. Let me move a little bit this way. Okay, hang on, guys. Let me synchronize with the computer, YouTube. It says that I am live, which I am right now. Good news. And there you go. Like this, I'll be looking down. Something must have happened with my announcement, and I'm seeing that Lorna is signaling me. Hang on 1 second. Lorna is signaling that, she's trying to pay attention of mommy. Well, anyway, Lorna, just give me a couple minutes, guys. First of all, I'd like to make an announcement. First things first. Okay, I would like to, first of all, thank you all for coming here. The ones that are just joining and joined right from the start. Thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting and strange experience for me. I started doing the live streaming on May 1st. I remember that stream very well. I messed up royally. I didn't know what I was doing, so I kind of started two streams simultaneously. I was on one stream and I didn't see any chat, and all the people were chatting to each other and to me, but obviously I didn't see their messages on the other, the parallel stream. So what happened, I was talking to a camera and I saw that I had like 60 people, and I was thinking to myself, wow, that's great. Somehow they're not communicating with me, not asking me or telling me something back. But so it was May 1st. I think I've come a long way, and I'm more comfortable with all this technical stuff. Sometimes things happen, but it's easy to overcome. And the biggest thing for me, I have been enjoying doing the streams so much. I get mostly positive reaction from you guys, a lot of emails, a lot of comments. I talked to quite a few of them, quite a few of you, and the comments in my videos and things like that. But it's been a great experience for me because I really, really, really am enjoying right now, and I do enjoy doing streams. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but first of all, when I go out and walk around and try to show you different places, I show you places that are of interest to me, first of all, okay? And then my mind kind of focuses away from all the problems at work, at life, and I'm just taking time for myself. I like every Saturday, I take 2-3 hours totally for myself. And this is my way of having a hobby. Some men go out and drink on Saturday nights, Some people go to, I don't know, see sports, football. Some people get into bands and play sports, play something. I don't do that kind of stuff. To me, YouTube has replaced that all, and that's fantastic. My channel has grown quite a bit. I have 40, 50 plus people at streams on Saturdays these days, and I started off with couple dozens perhaps. And my channel has been growing as well. And you see, last couple weeks, a thing happened that has made me overthink what I've been doing. That thing is, all of a sudden, so many people started emailing me and started getting into contact with me and asking me to send them something, usually postcards. I offer to send postcards myself. Just introducing themselves in the mail, and so many comments to my videos. I still answer every single comment that I see. In YouTube has been taking all my free time. Seriously, everything. I'm not complaining. I'm actually quite enjoying. But the thing is, my approach to YouTube starts changing because I had been treating it as just as a hobby, casually going live on Saturdays and doing a video now and then, like a time or a couple times a week. But since I've grown quite a bit, I feel if I keep on going the way I have been going, it's not going to lead anywhere. So I kind of changed my approach to doing YouTube channel, and this approach is more business-like. I'm not well. It's not like I'm trying to make money on of you, the viewers, or the ones who watch the videos or the live streams, but it's rather internal. The way I treat this channel, okay, I start treating it as a business, as a job. Although I'm not making much money whatsoever from this, but I gotta start doing planning, scheduling. I have to have more commitments, and this is it. It was really difficult for me to handle because it was 66 people, almost 70. It's an incredible number. Thank you again for joining me last week, the ones who were here last week. But I was kind of feeling out of control because I was trying to walk around and I couldn't really see what's going on in the comments and things like that. So I decided that starting from this stream, we are creating the team inside Russia. A few people that will be helping me out with the streams. People you know quite well. The two first moderators, let me announce, Lorna and Mommy. If you guys hearing me right now, I would like you to give them a big round of applause. Hey, Lorna, I think, hasn't missed one stream of mine, and I think Mammy hasn't missed one either. These are people I trust very much. We, on top of everything, we have a good time in the comments, in the chats, in the streams, and I feel like they are the ones who I can trust with moderating the channel. I see that some comments coming in. It's wonderful, and applauses and stuff like that. I thank you guys. It's either hot here or cold. When I open the balcony door, it gets cold, but when I close it, I start sweating. It's crazy. So, guys, Lorna and Mammy are the moderators. To be honest with you, I haven't been able to figure out how to nominate them as moderators in my stream, in my YouTube channel, in the account. Hope that I can do it right now real quick, and if I can't, then it's probably gonna be... if you could give me the directions here, I would be very, very thankful for that. General settings of the channel. Okay, hang on. I'll try to do that. Oh, I think yeah, it's strange I haven't been able to do that. I think that's the channel settings. Or perhaps it's in the comments. Nope, not in the comments. Настройка канала. The problem is my YouTube is in Russian because it automatically switches languages depending on geotagging. I have main page, I have branding and general something, general knowledge. Oh, there you go. I think there's a community section. Here you go. Okay, I found so far, guys, I found the moderator section, but how to add Lorna and Memi there? Could you please let me know? Not reading the comments. A plus Russian if you look. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, guys, these are the big news, the announcement that I wanted to make. That I am changing my approach to this channel internally. For you guys, nothing's gonna change. The only addition I see in the future is I'm gonna turn on the sponsorship for this channel. But if you don't want to become sponsors, hey, no problem. No grudge taken here. Anyway, the Team Russia is born. Team Inside Russia is born, and so far we have two moderators, and my internal approach changes. And let me tell you guys, Lorna and Mommy, imagine when they were little girls growing up, I don't know, 60s or 70s or not 80s, I think. Imagine we had the Cold War at its peak. Imagine if someone told them as little girls that one day they would be part of the Team Inside Russia. I think everyone around would really freak out. This is so ironic and so funny. Don't you guys find it very funny? It's not. All right. Okay. Anyone can. Lorna and Mommy, if you guys figure out, if anyone figured out how to add you as moderators during the stream. I am right here at general settings of the channel, community, and it says moderators, but I cannot add you because, how would I do that? I type in your names and nothing happens. Mammy. Okay. So far, drops coming. Okay. Go back a little bit. Over the name in comments. 3 dots will show. Left click. Oh, that's easy. Hang on 1 second. It's really weird to see myself on the screen and see myself move at the same time as I'm moving. There you go. I got it. Thank you so much. Now we have 2 moderators. Okay, ladies, don't be tough on them. There's a good bunch. There are 51 person right now, and this is fantastic. Thank you so much. For the ones who just joined, there you go. It's great to see those little tools, moderated tools right next to your names. We're up. Now, I have the weight of my shoulders. I can go on. This telephone is great. The camera is much wider than my old one. Anyway, excellent. Congratulations. Thank you all for doing that. Let me tell you a little bit more about my experience yesterday. I was buying the iPhone. That was the worst, not the worst, the weirdest, the funniest, and the strangest shopping experience of my life. I have not, I had not had anything like that before happen to me. If some of you did not watch my video, I uploaded late last night, because I made a video right after I came back from the store. A lot of comments were about the telephone could have been stolen, it could have been rigged, bugged, or something could have been wrong with the telephone. The reason why I went through such a procedure is not because the people, the store that sold me the telephone itself, are scam artists or anything like that. They weren't trying to sell me a stolen phone or anything like that. I actually bought it from Russia's largest retail. In the United States, an equivalent would be Best Buy. Okay, but the problem is that we are still in a lockdown, nationwide lockdown here in Russia, and this store simply cannot be open. On one side, on one hand, we have a tremendous demand for these telephones because everyone wants to buy an iPhone 13 because of the cameras, just like I wanted to buy one because of the cameras. Well, two things, cameras and the battery, long battery life. And they just simply do not import so many telephones to satisfy the demand, right? So I had to, well, first of all, I went to one store and I saw that they had exactly what I wanted, a blue or light blue or Pacific blue, whatever it's called, iPhone 13 Pro Max, 256 megabytes of storage. And I made an online order and it said, okay, you have to pay and then come and pick it up. So I paid, they called me up and they said, we don't have it. I said, well, I already paid. The money's been taken out of my account. They said, well, we're sorry, but, we don't have it. So it's not in stock. Got really mad because, they had my credit card number and the whole 9 yards and my money. But they returned the money immediately within a few minutes. So no problem there. And I located there was like the entire day passed by. And I had previously inquired at different stores if they had any telephones like I wanted. And actually, this large retailer, they called me up and they said, listen, we have one telephone, color of golden, 256, but you have to pick it up now. And you have to pay for it now and then before 10, they called me at 8 p.m. and they told me, you have to pay now and you have to pick it up before we close at 10 p.m. And I asked them, well, why? Why can't I can pay now, no problem, but why can't I go and, pick it up tomorrow morning? No, you can't do that. The lockdown, we have some employees willing to help you out right now, and tomorrow that employee won't be able because he's day off and things like that. So, sounds fishy, but the retailer is very known. I have a personal account with them. I have done business before, and I figure it's a credit. I'm gonna use credit card. So if something goes wrong, I'm just gonna block my account, and money's not gonna be stolen from me. So I paid off, and basically I made a video about the whole thing. If you haven't watched it, go and check it out. Once I uploaded the video, a lot of people started saying that something's fishy about this deal. Something's fishy. I should check the authenticity of this phone with Apple IMEI number and the serial number and so forth. The telephone could have been stolen. I shouldn't trust, my bank accounts on it and stuff like that. Well, the telephone is perfectly fine. I checked everything and double checked. It's registered with Apple as brand new phone. And the company that I bought it from is also very reliable and very, very respectable. But the problem is the lockdown. They cannot be open, so they have to invent schemes to move the phones, to sell them. Okay. They wanted to make sure that I was not an authority, not from the government, checking on them. Okay. So that's why we met in the parking lot. And the guy looked at me and my wife, and he made a decision, said, okay, go to another place and they're gonna meet you there. So I went to another place and I filmed it. And I come to that place and there's no one, but there's a telephone number. It's like the Squid Game. It's like the quest. So I call up the telephone number and the guy comes back with a telephone. And it's like, yeah, you're all paid for. I offered him to show my ID and he said, no, no, no. He basically requested, he sent me a message consisting of 4 digits on my phone that I paid the telephone from. You know what I mean? And I received the 4 digits and I gave it to him as a password. And he said, okay, that is fine. I don't need anything else. And actually, the next day they sent me the paperwork, the receipt and everything by email. Okay, so they didn't want to have any paper trails in case the government comes and tries to find them. So the whole thing was fishy because of the lockdown, not because the telephone was fishy or the people were fishy or the deal was some kind of. But it felt like I was buying cocaine. It's so crazy. Yes, I did get the receipt, mommy. So I have brand new phone, and I'm really happy about that. It has larger screen. It's actually less convenient. It doesn't fit well my hand. My hand is huge. I'm a big guy. I'm 6 feet 3 inches, 186 centimeters, and still this phone is too large for one hand. For my large hand, I need to use both hands for it. But that's the only drawback. Everything else is fantastic. The cameras, I could not believe the quality. It's like having a telephone, that camera in your telephone, like a real camera. It's got fantastic battery life. Well, I haven't checked that yet completely myself, but that's what I heard from the reviews. I've read and watched the reviews. And so far, so good. I can't wait to get outside and film in the dark. And I think the biggest difference will be when I walk around and film, well, stream really, in Moscow. I think that you're gonna see much clearer picture. And I'm seeing that already right now. I'm using the frontal camera on my this new phone, and it's much better than my old one. You guys let me know if you agree with me or not. How do what are you seeing on your screens right now? Is the quality decent enough? Yeah, this is the front camera. It's A plus. I know. This is a front camera and it's absolutely amazing. I was trying to fiddle with the back camera, like real main camera, but I didn't want to be late in the stream, so next time. Okay, guys, I will tell you a little bit about the lockdown and then I will answer your questions. Lockdown, the good news, I made a video. It's called Day 7. I have not been able to upload because it's been too much. Okay, one video per day. Yesterday I made an uploaded video about the new phone, the experience of buying a new phone. This very moment I have another video ready, which is also about Day 7. That's just regular news update. Well, the biggest update is that our lockdown here in Moscow is about to end day after tomorrow. We're going back to normal on Monday. I am very happy about that. My wife is absolutely happy about that because schools are open and kindergartens are open. It means that Michael is going back to the kindergarten. Let me tell you something. Staying in apartment, although a large one, but still apartment with 3 kids, one of them is 5-year-old, it's tiring, okay? It's tiring for me, for the kids, and for my wife. So we're really glad that Michael is going back to kindergarten. That way we will have, well, Natasha, I'm going back to the office, but Natasha will have some free time for her work and, you know, just a little break from like running around and stuff like that. And Michael has tremendous time at the kindergarten. He has friends there and he really misses it. He has his own routine there and they play games. They have athletics. Физическая культура. A plus, please help me out. How do you say in English? Физкультура, физическая культура. They have music lessons, they have dance lessons, stuff like that. So going PE, physical education. There you go. So in the kindergarten they're doing physical education. Michael loves that. So anyway, our lockdown is over. That does not say about the rest of Russia. So far, I know of 6 provinces that have extended their lockdowns. Some of them have given the government, local government, like province governments, they have authority as much as the federal government, because Putin, in the beginning of CV pandemic, Putin gave them the right. So the governors extended holidays, days off at employers' expense, think about it, for 7 more days, totaling some provinces, I think at least 2 so far I know of, 14 days off at the employer's expenses, meaning all retail stores, all spa salons, fitness centers, all non-essential businesses send people home, but still keep on paying them wages. That's basically the killing of small and medium businesses, in Russia. Because if I was in their shoes, I'd simply close. I'd said, hey, you know what? I'm not playing this game anymore. You guys go and provide services yourself. That's what I would tell to the government. Anyway, that's happened in a couple provinces, and I know that today the Russian Minister of Health, I believe, or perhaps the head of Russian FDA, either one of them, has announced that the situation is critical in 10 Russian provinces. So many infected, and the numbers are keep going up, and it means that something's gonna get done with those provinces. I think they will extend their lockdowns. They will put draconian measures of the remaining essential businesses, etc. So the situation is not that great in Russia. Moscow, honestly, I don't know what to think, because the mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, announced that yesterday, or day before yesterday, he announced that situation is getting better. Numbers started going down, going lower every day, and the number of beds in hospitals keep on going up, and this just after 9 days of the lockdown. You see, before they announced the lockdown, right after they announced actually, I saw the reasoning and I saw the logic. I figured out, okay, I understand, so many more people getting sick, and yes, the medical system needs a break, everyone needs to stay home. But for results of these actions, you got to have at least couple weeks, perhaps 3 weeks. If you announce lockdown and 7 days later you say, oh, things are back to normal, they're getting much better, this is where I smell fish. Okay? This is where I stop trusting. I stop trusting this reasoning. Okay? It doesn't work that way. They need at least a few weeks, like I would say 2 to 3 weeks, to see the immediate result. And it's been only days. Okay? So what I'm thinking right now is this whole thing with lockdown in Moscow is a human social experiment. They have their own goals. I'm not really sure who is conducting this experiment. I could say that it's a Russian government or a Moscow government, but you know what? It can be someone else, different organization. And I don't know their goals, but what it appears to be like, is they're testing something. They're testing perhaps ideas, or they're testing people's will to sit in their houses. I don't know. Human social experiment. That's what it looks like. Anyway, in Moscow, it's about to end. I will still keep you posted what happens after Monday. I'm pretty sure that things will get back to normal, more or less. We'll go back to the offices. Stores are open, get open, and business life back to normal, back to usual. Okay, I'd like to tell you about another thing which attracted my attention great deal. Okay, I'm driving to work. I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. No, Tuesday. And all of a sudden, I hear tiny, small news. Oh, the head of CIA, America's CIA, William Burns, is visiting Moscow right now and meeting Russia's chief of intelligence. And I'm like, what? It's such a huge, like biggest news of the week in the entire world, okay? It changes the balance of power tremendously. In the mainstream media outlets, there's nothing. So Russians gave the very, very dry, very small news in a couple outlets, and that's it. Well, they can't say that it's been a secret. No. It was in the news, right? And I saw that CNN ran a short article, and I think New York Times recently came out with an article, but not much attention there. To me, guys, it's a huge deal, huge, because it shows that USA, the current people in power, and Russia are talking. And this is a direct result of Putin meeting Biden in Switzerland back in the beginning of summer. It's these two guys met, and basically they set up a groundwork for negotiating things. And I think what's been going on is the negotiations. They go back and forth, and I think that everyone keeps asking, what did they negotiate? Guys, I have not one single idea, and I don't want to know, because if I know, they would shut me down. They would look me up really fast. So I don't want to know these things, but I can guess. The CIA head came to Moscow to negotiate something big. It's not an ordinary event, because on my recent memory, I don't remember when the CIA head guy came to Moscow and met Russians. Okay, certainly not for the past 10 years. Anyway, huge. I think that they discussed Ukraine. First of all, it was Ukraine, because Ukraine has been acting rogue, mad in the last couple of weeks. It started using attack drones on striking on military and civilian targets in Donbass, and it started provoking Russia. Okay, it's very understandable, and it's exactly what I've been talking for all along. After Putin and Biden met, I think, I'm pretty sure about that. The USA and Russia has decided on Ukraine, and poor Ukrainians. I don't think the United States is defending Ukraine anymore. Instead, it basically sold out to at the highest price. Okay, Russians must have given something instead of Ukraine. The biggest indicator of that is that the Americans allowed for Nord Stream 2, that huge pipeline, to be completed and put into operation. Okay, that's huge. Also, Ukrainians have lost support of the United States, military support, financial support, and the worst for them, they've lost interest to Ukraine. The American politicians, they just don't really care about Ukraine anymore. And that's driving the Ukrainians nuts. The president and his gang, and I think what they're doing is, as the last resort, they trying to start a war. They're picking on Russia, trying to start a war with Russia, and that way they can attract attention of the entire world to them back again. And I think the United States, Lorna, Konstantin, you have comments to read on the subject. Okay. Anyway, let me just finish a little bit. Basically, I think that Ukraine is trying to attract attention to itself. Okay, that's the last resort. And I think that the CIA guy and the Russians, they discussed that. And they might have also discussed Syria and Taliban, the pressing issues. Anyway, that's what I wanted to tell. And interesting, I have some comments on the issue. Okay, guys, please let me know whose comments I should read. Okay, guys, just give me a second reading the comments. You please, if you want me to read easier and faster, if you want me to comment on something, then ask me questions or comment in caps so I understand this comments for me. Interesting one. Nana Beeswax, I trust Russian government more than American government. You know what? I don't trust neither. So Lorna, whose comments? There are so many comments. Whose comments I should read? And also, guys, would be great if you address something to me. Also put Ed and my name. It's highlighted in red, so I see it's it's for me. Drops. Drops comment. It's all planned globally. Look up World Economic Forum and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Great Reset. Guys, that's not news to me. I've been looking at that stuff for quite some time. I think Russian government is not part of that. The Russian government has a few people. You're talking about the Russian government. You're talking about the very few people who hold power, and they have their own goals. They have the mind of their own, and they have their own agenda. Okay, they're isolated. They just don't want to go to war, or they want to be friends with anyone, be a part of global community, and they just have been dealing with us directly. Okay, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Drop. I read the comment, and okay, I've shared my thoughts on Ukraine. A plus Russian, my theory, vaccinations. People cannot travel back and forth right now because vaccines are not mutually acceptable. So CIA, KGB are trying to negotiate how to get on the same page. A plus Russian, that's a good one. I have not thought about that. But why would Russian government want Russians to travel anywhere? Because if Russian travels, he might get dangerous ideas, or she might get dangerous ideas. She or he might see how people live in other countries. She or he can get concepts of that people live differently somewhere, and they actually have different voting systems, and they have different governments, and they have different local government structures and things like that. So I think what are they trying to do is to make traveling abroad as difficult as possible. Okay, and vaccines could be part of that. Although right after William Burns left Moscow, an interesting thing happened. Russian diplomats started going off publicly about that Russia needs to reestablish the visa system with the United States, so Russians can get visas here in Moscow instead of going to other countries, which is virtually impossible right now. That was interesting. Hours after he left, okay, they must have made a deal on the visas, and I would not be surprised if within the weeks we will see a great improvement in the visa department between Russia and the United States. Ironworks of Mercy. I didn't get that. A plus Russian, I think for business is why they won't travel. Money rules over ideology sometimes. I disagree with you on this one as well, because for all of you guys, not just for A plus Russian, that's a very interesting topic, and I'm sure you probably haven't heard of that. But Russian budget, meaning, the budget, that you know what the country's budget is, revenues and spendings, consists of oil and gas sales, exports, for 80%, meaning 80% of budget is given by oil and natural gas sales. Think about this. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to have businesses in Russia. We don't have to collect taxes. We don't have to, literally, we could sit on our butts and still we would get enormous amount of money from the sales of gas and oil. And they don't care. They trying to, my understanding is they're trying to kill small businesses, because small business owners are independent. They tend to travel places, countries. They tend to have their own opinions on things. They tend to be independent. They tend to want freedoms. They tend to want free, rules for everyone. Fair rules of conducting business and fair taxes and so forth. Russian government doesn't need that. So I disagree with you on whether they want travel, like free travel for business. I don't think they do. I see that you guys have started mentioning my name in the comment. That helps me a lot. Thank you so much. I see what comments to look for. Ironwood Workman. The Crimea Bridge or Kerch Strait Bridge was an act of mercy on Ukraine. Just saying, friend. What do you exactly mean was an act of mercy on Ukraine? I don't understand. I was in Crimea. I worked in Crimea for a year when the bridge was being constructed. It was an act of mercy on the people of Crimea, because it was really hard to get in and out of Crimea back then. You would have to wait for a ship to come, to load your car on a ship, and sail over the Strait of Kerch, about an hour, and unload you, and you just drive. And it was so slow, and the wait lines were so long. So I don't think it was an act of mercy in Ukraine. It was just convenient. I've traveled, that bridge is, by the way, is a marvel, engineering marvel. I've traveled quite a few times. I actually made a video about that a couple of years ago. We went on vacation to Crimea. We were driving over the bridge. You guys check it out if you want. A plus. Okay, so maybe they're discussing how to stop people from traveling. That I might agree. I'm not saying that's what they were discussing, but they I think the Americans don't care. But Americans care about other things. For example, the Taliban, how to contain them, or just I'm just saying. But the Russians, they have different agenda. They're saying, okay, we will do this for you. For example, we'll let you station a military base in Tajikistan, which is vitally important for America, okay, or Uzbekistan. So they have like military presence right next to Uzbekistan, right next to Afghanistan. But instead, you guys do that. And Americans would say, okay, let's do that. They making deals. That's what it's all about. The Democrats are in power, and Democrats have been known to make deals, to be friends with Russia. It starts with Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and look, the next president right now, Joe Biden. They're making deals all the time. The only problem between Russia and the Democrats was when Putin became the president again in 2012, and he had a personal grudge with Barack Obama. They're like personal enemies of each other. And this is when the relationship between Russia and the United States started deteriorating. I have my own theory that it was based on the personal relationship between Barack Obama and Vladimir Putin. But before that, Dmitry Medvedev was the president. He had fantastic relationship with Barack Obama. They were friends. They were traveling. They were visiting. They were like friends of families, like befriending each other. You know what I mean? Okay, guys. Drops Family Garden says lockdowns are to keep you in place because of the common famine, because of the grand solar minimum. Comments like that, sometimes I speak to people and they have opinions like that. And honestly, I don't know what to say because I don't have educated opinion on that. This topic is too controversial for me, but I don't discard it completely because our life is very strange and sometimes things happen that were totally unexpected, okay? And drop to your comment, I can only say we shall see because if it happens, we will know. you know, 5, 10 years. Let me. I have a super chat. Michael J. Mead, thank you so much. Michael is my patron. He supports me on Patreon. Thank you. What can I say? Very much appreciated, and I'm very grateful for that. It's gonna help me with the iPhone fund, my iPhone fund. Yeah, iPhone was very expensive, by the way. $1,700, exact amount. 1,700. Can you imagine that? I'm like not poor person, but I'm not rich, if you know what I mean. And I can't just take out 1,700 out of my pocket without noticing it and just like, hey, here's a new phone. I gotta work for it. Ironwood, workman, you are being very active today, as usual. Russia could have had a full war with Ukraine and taken over the whole country of Ukraine. Oh, Russia used mercy and built the Crimea bridge. Um, I see what you mean. All right, Russia could have taken over Ukraine in a couple days. I think in one day. Ukraine is not a very large country, and Russian military is gigantic compared to Ukraine. Doesn't have a military, okay? But the thing is, why would Russia do that? That'd be that'd be that'd be like coming to your cousin, first cousin that you grew up with. You know what I mean? And just taking over his family, wife, kids, and saying, now you're, now she's my second wife, your wife, and now your house is my house and stuff like that. I think it's crazy. Why would Russia take over Ukraine? Carlene Dream, what, $1,700? You heard me right. iPhone 13 Pro Max, 256 megabytes gigabytes, 1,700 dollars here in Russia. That's crazy. I know. I know. Lorna is doing two jobs: dishwasher and moderator. Oh, that's funny. Ukraine is the second largest country in Europe by land mass, but it's tiny compared to Russia. You can drive through Ukraine in 8 hours. I've done that myself. From Rostov, you drive to Odessa, and it takes you even less than 8 hours. Kiev, I think 7 hours from the southern border near Taganrog. Okay, it's not a huge country. Drops. Russia wants Ukraine because it will be one of the breadbasket that will be able to grow wheat in the grand solar minimum. That I disagree with because simply Russia has so much fertile land that it grows over 110 million metric ton of grain, and it barely uses 20 million for itself. So it has 90 million, four times grain, and sells all over the world. I think it's the largest exporter of wheat all over the world. We shipload tons and tons of wheat to Turkey, to Iran, to the southern countries, Saudi Arabia, all over the world. So Ukraine is a huge breadbasket. Yes, I agree. Ukraine is incredibly fertile land. But right next to Ukraine, south of Russia, Krasnodar, Stavropol, Rostov regions, same size as Ukraine and same fertile. It's the same kind of land if you look at the map. So we certainly do not need Ukrainians' map, Ukrainians' land for that. For other purpose, I could agree on, but not for, growing foods and food like fruits and vegetables. I was born and I grew up right next to Ukraine, 40 miles from the Ukrainian border. And let me tell you, Rostov region, you put a stick, a real stick, inside of land, and next year that stick becomes a tree. It's so fertile, and there's so much water there. Drop, control the food, control the people. Well, that I agree very much with. Can't speak English well today somehow. I think I'm too tired. My words just jumping out of my mouth in a very weird way. Drops. I know that Russia produces most wheat in the world. Not only wheat, but there's so much lentil, rice, everything. Just just name it, and Russia produces it. John Liebold. Hi, we had spoken earlier in the, thanks for your messages. By the way, I have not been able to check the messages that you sent me last week about what you calling the green energy and stuff like that. It's just I haven't had time, but it's in line, so I will check them this week. I have a super chat. Wayne, thank you so much. Large markup for that phone. 13 Pro Max here on Amazon 1100. I know. I know. That's pain. Everyone kicking $2 so Konstantin can post high quality videos. Thank you so much. I tell you what, that'd be very welcomed from me, but not necessarily. You guys, it's not a big deal. But if you do that, I wouldn't say no. Thank you. Drops Family Garden. I completed my 4th solar system this week. Got 4 now. In your house, neighbor, like in your, is it your business or just doing it for yourself? A plus Russian. Kostya, I know it's off topic, but I'd love if you could explain Patreon. How does it work? What are the obligations inside Russia? Thank you very much, A plus. It's a great question. You see, Patreon is like YouTube sponsorship. Only YouTube is greedy. It takes either 30 or 30%. It's like they tax. Like I got $5 super chat from Wayne, and I'm gonna see like $3 out of that. I think 40% YouTube takes. I think sponsorships are a little less, perhaps 30%, but still it's a lot. Patreon is the same thing as sponsorship. Basically, if you would want to support a cause or support a person or support something, you go to Patreon. Like I have a link at every video, and you basically commit whatever amount you want to commit. Like I have $5 a month, $10, and 100. 100 I just put out of it's like, hey, why not? If someone wants to put 100, but you can also do your own amount, like $1, for example, and these things add up. Patreon does not tax as much. I think they like 11 or 12%, not too much. So it's much better for me. But that's what Patreon is all about. Same as YouTube sponsorship, only cheaper for the creators. That's what it is. By the way, another thing I wanted to tell you guys. So far, I have mailed out about 26 postcards exactly. I think a few people have already received postcards. I got feedback, like thanks. I guess, guys, I'm very glad you like them, and it was my pleasure to, send you the postcards. I cannot do that for free anymore because it's taken up so much time, and it's actually becoming quite a bit of money. When I sent out my first 10 cards, no big deal. I think a card costs $1.50, a little less than $1.50, and to send a card also $1, so it's like $2.50. And like to send 26 postcards in general took me over an hour because I travel to the post office. I handwrite all the addresses and stuff like that. So, but I don't mind sending you. It's just I'm saying, if you want me to send you a postcard, send me your mailing address in the email, and go to Patreon, or just give me a couple dollar super chat, so it covers the expenses. That's pretty much it. And if you don't have couple bucks, please email me saying I don't have the money. I will still send you for free. Dirk was one of the first people who asked me to send the postcard. I actually, in the beginning of today's stream, I said that I'm changing the approach to doing YouTube. For example, this is one of the things what I mean. I can't speak English straight today somehow. It's really strange. Anyway, I had, let's say, after my stream where I announced that I would send postcards, I got about 10 emails, and people emailed me with mailing addresses and request to mail them out the postcards, and I did. So I wrote down on pieces of paper every email, like every address. And I went to the post office and I did that. And then a few more people emailed me, asked me to do the same thing, and it amounted to 26 people, 26 addresses, 26 emails, and they are all over the place in my mailbox. So one of the things I start organizing, I mean, I know how to do that quite well. That's my work is about organizing pretty much for the past 25 years, management and organization. So I've organized, I've created different spreadsheets for certain things for this channel, and one of the spreadsheets is people who want to have me send them postcards, and now they're neatly organized. And every time I get a request, I just insert it into a spreadsheet. That way I know exactly who and when had the postcard out and when they should be receiving that. And if they receive, I'll put a check mark, and if they give me a message, I received your postcard, so I know exactly what's going on. That's one of the things that I changed my approach about. Okay, I see that some people joining right now. Firefly Farm, hi. And if you recently joined, I'm doing the live stream from my home in Moscow, as you see, because of the two reasons. First is it's cold outside, and the second is, excuse me, everything's closed. I cannot stop by any cafe, any restaurant. I cannot take a hot tea out, or not too many people inside the center of Moscow right now. Everything's closed. So I decided to have an opportunity to use this opportunity to stream from home, which I don't get to do that often. You guys let me know, which one do you like better, when I walk around Moscow and show you things, places, or where I'm sitting home? Firefly, we have two moderators. Team inside Russia, Lorna and Mommy. Big news today. Another comment from Ironwood. The US and other nations wanted to use Ukraine to cut Russia off from its military base Crimea. This would have made Russia much weaker. The bridge was a very smart move. Yes and no. I think Ukraine, not just Crimea, but Ukraine in general, is. How do I say that? Ukraine is a playing card, a pawn, okay? There is a large, huge global chess game, and there are major players, such as the United States, the biggest player, China, growing player, and player with ambitions, the Russia, the player, another older player, Europe, Germany. These are major players, and they use different countries as their interests in the proxy war with each other. And Ukraine is certainly such a country, and Ukrainians have been conned. I mean, talking about usual people, their country has been played. The control was seized, and Ukrainians are not managing their country themselves. They have, we call it external management, okay? And I totally agree with that. And what happens now is this external management says, okay, we have some other interests that Russia can trade us Ukraine with, and they're basically selling off Ukraine at highest price possible. I think they have sold it off, okay? And it's not good for Ukraine. I have a super chat, $10 from Kim Clark. Kim, thank you so much. I would like to thank you for the super thanks that you sent me for, I think it was my walking tour video of my mom and dad's neighborhood. So thank you for that, and thank you for this one too. Very appreciated. That goes to my telephone fund. Carlene, I like the walk around Moscow. Kim from California. Hi, my friend. I like the car drive as this shows the area better and then walking around. How about this? You guys let me know. Would you like me to start my streams off driving a car around some place and then parking and doing the stream like I did last time, for example, a time before? Would you like me to continue doing that or just walking without driving? John Liebold, 50% inside and 50% outside, I think works well. You mean when I sit down in a cafe? Well, walking outside for 3-4 hours is difficult because I hold my camera with a gimbal like this and it's heavy. And I try to keep my attention focused on the places I show you and I tell you about the places. And it really takes toll on me physically. I get tired after a couple hours. It's really, really tiring. Like the very first stream I did from Gorky Park back in May was my first walk-in tour stream. I walked for 2.5 hours, and after that, I literally sat down. I had a beer, which I usually don't drink beer ever, but then I had a beer, and I was just sitting there, and I didn't want to speak to anyone. Didn't speak to my wife. Didn't just like it was so tiring. But then I've gotten used to it. But still, if I walk around for a couple hours, trust me, it's great to sit down at the restaurant and have a drink or like a small bite of something. So if you guys like and don't mind, I will stick to that. But sometimes inclement weather, which, by the way, in Moscow, oh my God, my guys, another thing I would like to tell you about. I love winters in Moscow. My wife hates it. She wants to move to San Diego. It's just between me and you guys, okay? She likes eternal summer. Well, she's open to the idea of moving to Texas as well. But she needs some place with perfect weather because she cannot stand Moscow cold. I love winters. And I absolutely love when it snows. Because I was growing up in the south of Russia, never snowed. And I've moved to Maine. Oh my God, they have winters in Maine like you guys don't not gonna believe. There's so much snowfall, more snowfall than in Alaska, believe it or not, because the cold air from the plains meet warm air on the ocean, and on the coast of Maine, it just keeps on snowing and snowing every week, like for from December to like March. So anyway, I love that kind of weather. I just dress up warmly. I get out, and I love playing in the snow. Michael absolutely loves it, and I just love. Moscow is magical with like when it's snowfall, and I am going to take you to like the Red Square, the Bolshoi Theater, around Bolshoi Theater, the center, when the snow falls. Because, like I told you, Moscow is always different. And if you keep on coming back to the same place, for example, I love keep on coming back to the Red Square. It's always different. It's in the morning, daytime, evening, night. It's different weather, whether it's sunny, cloudy, snow, rain, doesn't matter. It's always different. You stand in the same place and it feels like it's a different place. The Red Square is absolutely fantastic in snow. Oh my God, guys. I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna take and show you that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to celebrate New Year's here, or perhaps fortunately, because we're going down to Rostov to see our families. That's Russia's biggest holiday, holiday season, should I say. We're gonna have 10 days off from 30th or 31st through the 10th. of January. And on top of that, I think I'm gonna take like a week vacation, and so it's gonna give me like 3 weeks off. So we're gonna go to Rostov. But before that, I'm sure Moscow will be completely covered with snow. Usually, it's been very warm here for Moscow because usually it's 5th, 6th of November. Usually it's snow on the ground, but yesterday it was 60 degrees. I still think that winter will come very abruptly, and it will be very, very harsh this year because we had an incredibly hot summer, and here in Moscow we also had a hot summer. So this is what I plan on doing for the rest of my year streams. If the weather is really, really bad, then I probably stay inside home like today. But for a change, it's nice to stay home because I get to focus on you guys more. I read the comments. I feel like I have more time to answer, to tell you stories, things like that, to answer questions. Because when I walk around, you know that there's not even much time to actually read the comments. Okay. Again, Kim, thank you so much. Since I have a little bit of access to my computer today, I'd like to name all the people who's given me super chats and thank again, and the patrons from the Patreon. Just give me a few seconds. Luvanon, thank you very much for joining. Great to see you. We have 61 persons right now. Great, great. But somehow we have 61 people and only 42 likes. You guys have forgotten to like the stream. Down below, hit the like button once or twice or 3 times. Thank you. So anyway, my wife hates snow. She hates cold. As long as we live in Moscow, like I'm trying to use every opportunity to enjoy it as much as I can because you never know what future brings us. The repeat offenders. Ironwood workmen. Yes, I like to see Russia. Walking or driving or eating, drinking are all good. I just like seeing Russia. But this stream is better than nothing, Константин. Thank you. Better than nothing. Заходи. Иди сюда. I'd like to show you someone. У тебя трусы есть тут? Трусы одень и приходи. Иди сюда, давай. I have my partner in crime. Да закрой рот, что ты показываешь? Ты смотри, сколько людей тут. 62 человека. Say hello, everyone. Прожуй давай, возвращайся. Трусы одень. Дверь закрой, пожалуйста. He hasn't closed the door. That kiddos, by the way, I made a video about us going to public bath, public banya, a Russian sauna. He's an expert in going to public bath because he started going when he was 2 years old and now he's 5. He has 3-year experience. I like the repeat offenders. Dirk, I like the video later. Not quite sure what you meant by that. Michael's saying hi to all of you, but he's busy cooking. He loves to cook. He helps cook. He makes me salads sometimes. Takes out carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, chops them up by himself. I gave him a present, a very sharp Japanese knife, and I told him how to use it. Well, he uses under supervision of either me or my wife, but still, he has his own Japanese knife, very, very sharp, and he just chops everything up and gives me salads. And he also loves to bake. Can't bake by himself, but Natasha likes to bake, and the girls love obviously. and they baking something right now. Spark is wrong. Good to see you. You are discussing buckwheat. Buckwheat is a highly nutritional whole grain many people consider a superfood. Among health benefits, may improve heart health, weight loss, manage diabetes, good source protein. Buckwheat is awesome. I used to hate it when I was a kid, when I was growing up, but let me tell you, when I started eating buckwheat, I lose weight immediately. With all that my knowledge, it's really strange that I'm fat. Just it's really difficult to start eating right because there's so many things going on, and eating is like the very last thing I pay attention to, you know. But anyway, once I start eating buckwheat, it's like magic. Okay, the weight just keeps melting off, and we use buckwheat as addition to meats. We boil meats, sometimes we fry meats, we do stews and things like that, and buckwheat is always there. So it's the staple number one for us. Rice, someone mentioned in the comments a couple of days ago that like you guys pay so much attention to buckwheat. What about rice? We do eat rice, but not as much as actually people do eat rice quite a bit here. But buckwheat is something. It's like, how do I say? Same as corn to maize to Mexicans, for example. To us, it's buckwheat. I see Fee just joined us. Hi there. Hi, Morning Light. Morning Light is here. Good to see you. Luanon says, chef in the making about Michael. Well, he certainly has fun cooking at this young age. By the way, I've been talking to you guys over 1 hour, and let me check the better. Well, it's about little than a third used, and what happens is it's not magic for the live streams, as they say, but magic for me, like they say in the telephone goes without charging for like 20 something hours. That's crazy. But I'm streaming live right now, and I also have a microphone, external microphone plugged in, and my telephone is actually powering that microphone. And so far, it's used less than one third of juice, which is amazing. It means that in the future, I'll be able to, well, not in the future now, I'll be able to go without reserve power for basically the entire stream, like 3 4 hours. Beach bum Bob. Hi there. So guys, please say hi to Bob because he's been there pretty much since the day one of my channel. I remember his comments back in early 2020. We discussed a few things, and I even mentioned him a few times in the videos. He's been a die hard, well, a big fan. Thank you, Bob. Bob says San Diego, California is very nice. Obviously, it has the ocean, warm weather throughout the year, and all expensive deals that you can go in Mexico and Baja California. I've been to San Diego a couple times and love the place. Los Angeles, I like Los Angeles very much as well, but I've heard that the problems cooking there, first of all. And then Los Angeles is too hot because, well, my wife, she doesn't like too cold or cold whatsoever, but she doesn't like when it's really hot either. She's picky, what can I say? She likes it perfect, and San Diego is one of the very few places that perfect. She's been telling me that about Silicon Valley area, like Sacramento, not Sacramento, Cupertino, and the surroundings, east of east of a large large city on the ocean south of San Francisco, uh, like Carmel by the Sea, above Carmel. I forgot. I forgot what's. Anyway, it's that area, but I haven't been there personally, and I can't judge. Like I don't have an opinion about that place. San Diego, the climate is fantastic. Another place. Well, so far I have seen two places with perfect climate. First is San Diego, and the second is Santa Barbara. Okay, Santa Barbara is an amazing place. We came there once, and the guys didn't have ACs and they didn't have heat in the houses because I asked why. Because they said because it's always perfect, 72 degrees daytime, like 68 at nighttime or something like that. It's amazing. Very expensive though. Lorna, you need a very thick wallet to live in California. Oh yes, I know. I know. My wallet is not that thick, let me tell you. But life is a journey, right? Not as thick today, could be thicker tomorrow. I was born into poverty. This is a long story, guys, but to make it short, my ancestors were rich, very rich, on both mom's and dad's side. Mom's side, we have Cossacks, and my great grandfather was a big trader, big landowner. Like you would say in the United States, you would say he was a rancher. Okay, a huge ranch or ranches. And my great grandfather on the father's side, he was in agriculture big time. He had a mill. He was growing his own wheat. He also had lots of land, lots of cattle. And the communists came in 1917, and guess what they did? They nullified my family. They killed everyone on my father's side. My grandfather was able. He was a young boy. He was able to escape. He basically ran away. The entire family was just weeded out because they were rich, plain and simple, and they worked for it. Okay, not like they were just, I don't know, inherited or whatever. They worked for their money, and they were just murdered for that. And my mom's side of the family was more lucky because they just took everything and they sent my grandfather, great grandfather, his wife, and three kids, three daughters, my grandma, one of them, and her two sisters, sent to Siberia. And they didn't leave them anything. They basically sent them to die. Okay, so and both sides of my families, they were very poor. From riches, they went to rugs. Okay, and I hated that from the day I was born. I hated being poor. Okay, I hated people around me, like not just the family, but the neighbors. Our country was, we were the poor people, Soviet people. We didn't have anything. I hated that. And when I first come to the United States, I saw the opportunity to make money and become rich. And I mean, I've been up and down, but I'm not poor anymore. Okay, we have a couple nice cars, we have property, I have a job, I make decent money. I'm not super rich. I can't take out 1,700 out of my pocket and just say, "Hey, I need a new telephone." I mean, it's a burden for me, but I'm not like dirt poor. You know what I mean? And I'm working on that, Lorna. I'm working. I'm trying to make it. I still have plans, big plans. I mean, I'm not that old, not young anymore, but I still have power and energy. So you do need a thick wallet to live in California, but I'm still working on that wallet to become thicker. And that's why they don't like me in Russia. They don't like people with values like I do. They say, "Oh, you don't own anything and you be happy. The government will take care of you." I want to take care of myself. I don't want to take care of me. I don't want government to take care of me and my family. No, thank you. Sorry, guys, just ranting a little bit. Американская реальность. Are you Russian or you are American? Very, very interesting channel name. What do you think about price for buying apartment on Moscow? Will price increase or decrease in near future? Well, American reality, I have yet to see real estate, a property that has lost value in the long run. In the short run, yes, but usually the prices rebound and they keep on going up. I remember, like, I've seen that. I've been seeing that all my life. The apartment here in Moscow back in 1996 cost $10,000, $8,000. Right now, same apartment in Moscow costs $250,000, $300,000. Okay, I bought an apartment about 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. The price have doubled since then. So I'm not qualified to give you an advice on real estate, but my personal opinion is right now we are having very high prices on real estate in Moscow. Like a few years back would be an excellent time to buy. Right now, probably not as best, but certainly the prices are not going to crash. I'm not sure how far they will go up, but I doubt they will go down. Hope I answered your question. Esser, Captain, Kempton, Oakland, best places for relax. My friend, you go to Compton and relax yourself. I'd rather relax in La Jolla, San Diego, okay? Lorna and guys, my dear Texan friends, Texas has been looking more and more attractive to us. Let me tell you. We discuss Texas all the time with Natasha. Just I'll let you a little secret. But we're not planning on moving out of Russia anytime soon. Just, talking. You're welcome on American Reality. CF, would you stay in Russia or ever move to the United States? This is life. I mean, I have moved so many times throughout my life to different countries. I was born and raised in Russia. Then I spent 10 years in the United States. A little bit in California, a little bit in New York, mostly Maine, New England. Then I moved back to Russia. Then I spent 2 years in Uzbekistan. Okay. Then I spent close to here in Ukraine. I can tell you for sure. Then within Russia, I moved. I lived in Moscow for 8 years. Then I moved to Rostov, 5 years in Rostov. Then I moved back to Moscow. One thing I'm very sure of, I'm not going to live in the same place for the rest of my life from now on. I will move someplace. Whether it's going to be the USA, I don't know. Morning Light, Constantine. If Texas, check out the northeastern area. I will. The thing is, it would be really great to live somewhere by the sea because this is just fantastic to live by the ocean or by the sea. We are not fortunate enough to live here in Moscow anywhere near a large body of water because simply there isn't a large body of water. So one of those things is water. But thank you so much. I will check the northeastern area. Christine Jovi, last year, astrologer, said America will be destroyed in early 22 by Russia. Well, Christine Jovi, I would not put any more money to that astrologer. 20. I guess we don't have much time left to see, We will see very soon. I have no clue how Russia can destroy the United States ever. Not just in 2020. And not only why it would destroy the United States, but why? Why would they do that? Like, why? We depend on the United States. The United States is a part of this global balance of power. Okay, you take out the United States, and the whole world is doomed because the China will enter that vacuum, and that's it. We're gonna be the slaves basically. So we're praying for the United States. Okay, the USA is not our enemy, and the proof of that is that your CIA director came to Moscow to negotiate deals a few days back. He used his own plane to come and speak to the Russia's head of intelligence. And of course, they were really speaking to Putin. The presidents were speaking through these guys. You know what I mean? They don't fool anyone. But why would Russia destroy the United States? That astrologer must be just a beginner. You know what I mean? He or she doesn't know what she's doing. Kim, moving is good. Kim, this is my life. I was born and raised in Rostov, which is south of Russia. Fantastic place. I love the place. Right in my heart, still is. But, so you can see the pictures on the wall a little bit. That's Dasha's. But, Mommy, thank you so much. You gotta go. No big deal. Hi, Zuinos, Natalia. Anyway, Kim, this is the story of my life. Born and raised in a large city, but up until year of 96, I was almost like I was 20 years old. I had not been anywhere outside of Rostov. Just a couple times I went to Moscow, and that's it. We did not travel anywhere but Crimea, and my world was Rostov. And I'm curious by nature. So when I had a chance to fly to the United States, I still remember every minute of my first flight, international flight. I went to Moscow. I boarded Delta flight to New York, and we took off. And they had like a novelty back then. They had the TV sets. They could show where you are located, where you're flying over. It was unimaginable at that time. Okay, 1996. I still remember every single minute. And I was looking at that TV screen. I'm like, we just took off and we are over St. Petersburg. Like St. Petersburg, I've been hearing so much about it. Like I've read so much about it, but I never been there. And it's right underneath us. And then next 20 minutes and we're flying over Helsinki. And I'm like, it's Finland. Oh my God, we're flying over Helsinki. That's unimaginable. Then a little further into the flight, like, 40 minutes over England, Ireland, like northern England, and then over the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm just looking at this whole thing, and the entire world is just exploding in my head. You know what I mean? I landed in New York, and I had heard so much about the United States, about New York. I watched movies, and all of a sudden, boom, I land, and I travel all over the United States. I go to California, northern, southern. I live in Maine, Taiga, basically. And at age of 20, I got this virus, okay, this moving virus. And that's been in my head ever since. And I like it very much. I like moving, not like every year, every month, but I like to live considerable amount of time in one place and then move to another place. And I've been doing it all my life in adult life, and it's great. It's great. And I think because I was born and raised in one place, I had never traveled outside. I think I like traveling so much. So that's answering your question. Constantine, Southeast Texas has the beach. I know, Lorna. We have looked at the map. Kim, I love the TV screen that shows the plane over the map. Aeroflot still does that as of 20 foot. Most airlines do that. We flew to Turkey recently. We used Turkish airline, I think. They still do that. Every single flight, they do that. I'm having a Diet Coke. That's something I never have. Again, like beer. Very strange because in Russia, it's white cap. Used to be black cap, but now it's white cap. But it's one of those things I indulge once I do the streams, like once in a great while. Guys, 71 people on the stream. That's a record high. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, if you just recently joined the stream, my name is Konstantin. I think most of you know me here in the stream. But in case you are here for the first time, my name is Konstantin, and this is Inside Russia, where I explain how it is to be living in today's Russia. And I am doing the stream from my apartment in Moscow because it's not nice outside. It's cold and everything's closed. We're in the lockdown, and I cannot stop by any warm place, have anything to eat or drink. Usually I have a hot tea. So I decided to just do it from home, which is okay for a change. But thank you for joining. 71 people. That's the highest that's ever been. It's fantastic. This channel is growing, you know that? And that's a great feedback for me because people keep on coming back and watch me on the streams, and we like talk a lot, and people keep watching my videos. And that shows me that I'm doing something right, okay? Fantastic. Ginger Soder, Constantine, I live 30 minutes from the Gulf Coast in Texas. It has nice beaches, but the water is not nice like the West Coast. Ginger, Lorna, and my friends from Texas, from California, the thing is, before making a decision on settling someplace, it's a huge decision. If you never been to the place that you thinking of settling, it's to make a conscious decision. You need to see for like with your own eyes. And if we ever go and look for a place to settle down, a new place, then first we would fly and travel around for some time, see how things are, see what we like and dislike, and only after we like see it with our own eyes, we would make a decision. But Texas is certainly on the list. Exploring with the Zuinos. Hello again. Love the family feel here. Isn't it nice? It's you said it right. You know, this is what I've been this sentence I've been looking for. This has a family feel, and for me, it's also family feel. You know, it's a very comfortable community of nice people I like chatting with, and you know, I like getting feedback, questions from. Thank you so much for all guys for being here. Spark is run. Love your video live streams. Love learning about life here. Thank you, Konstantin. Thank you so much. I've seen you quite a bit in my streams, and you know you're part of the family. Luvanon, you set the right tone, Konstantin. I'm just being myself. Thank you so much. You know, I'm not trying to. Lorna, please explain why you cannot do a walking tour. Okay, Lorna, per Lorna's request, I am staying home for two reasons today. First is it's cold outside. I don't mind cold whatsoever, but November is the worst month for me in Moscow, anywhere in Russia, because it's not winter, not winter yet, but it's already not, summer and early fall. It's somewhere like levitates above freezing, below freezing at night, stuff like that. It's cold outside and it's windy. It chills right through your bones, if you know what I mean. And I cannot stop at any place right now because we're in a lockdown and everything is closed. All cafes, all restaurants, all fast foods, everything's closed. So when it's cold outside, I get out and I walk around and I once in a while I stop by and I get a hot tea or a hot drink, or I get inside of a store, I get warmed up, and I show you what's inside of the store. Restaurant, I sit down. I cannot do that. That's why I'm sitting home. I've decided to do a stream from home. Pamela Plant. I just moved to Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains. I just love it here. I've heard Tennessee is fantastically beautiful place. One of the places I want to visit for sure. Another place is Colorado, Rocky Mountains. Um, I want to take my wife there. Basically, I'm thinking of if we, well, when we get some free time and some money for that, I would want to fly to the United States, probably to New York, rent a car and drive to Florida, along the coast, visiting a few places, and then driving across the United States to the west, to California. Basically, travel like different places and see some of the places I haven't seen myself. And Natasha has been to the USA a few times, but she's only seen California and New York, and that's it. She's been to the West Coast and the East Coast, so I would like to show her many places as well. 74 people. All right. Morning Light, agree. This is a great group and family. Zen, I'm not sure how to say your name right. Zen Psimer, West Coast USA is my favorite place. I love West Coast. Love West Coast. California. I haven't been there, granted, for 20 years, but when I was there, place was fantastic. Loved everything about LA, driving up PCH, up north to Ventura and then up north to Santa Barbara. Fantastic. You know, that part of California, that stretch from San Diego, from LA, really, from LA, Santa Monica Mountains, then Santa Ynez Mountains, they remind me of Crimea a lot. Okay, if you guys haven't seen, watch my videos. This one particular video, I'm gonna leave a link down below. Actually, find it right now. One of my most favorite. Just check out. I made it quite some time ago, and it's a little boring. I drive through fantastically beautiful place in Russia, and it's probably the most scenic drive in the entire country of Russia. But just watch a few moments and appreciate and see that Crimea looks so much like California. It's pretty unbelievable. Hang on one second. My family vacations. There's a playlist, and it says The Road to Die For. The link is right here. If I were to make that video again, I would do it differently because, it's just too long. But here you go, guys. Check it out. Morning Light. Friend says it looks like the Scottish Highlands. I've never been to Scotland. Another place on the map I'd like to visit. Been to England. Julie, with the craziness going on in the world today, I have even entertained the idea of moving to Russia. except I desperately dislike the cold. Well, Russia is not all cold. Sochi, the place of Winter Olympics of 2014, it's it's unusual to have 60s and 70s in January and February. It's subtropical. Fantastic place. Also, Crimea, fantastic place. In Yalta, it doesn't get, it snows a couple times like a year. Anyway, it's really warm. Russia is not that cold in the south. Uh, you know, your sentence, like your comment, gets me thinking. You're not the first person says that. Oh, I'm entertaining this idea to move to Russia, but I don't know much about it. There, perhaps there's opportunity for me to put together some kind of a booklet or information sheet for you guys, so you could understand how to what to expect in Russia, whether you should consider moving to Russia or should not. I'm an expert mover and an expert mover to Russia because I had spent 10 years in the US, well, close to 10 years in the USA, and then I moved to Russia. And trust me, it was quite an experience, okay? Thank you so much for the super chat, Exploring with Azuinas, $3. Do you or did you get to travel for work? I'll answer that in a couple minutes. Anyway, there perhaps there's an opportunity. I've seen quite a bit of interest about information about Russia. The problem is Russians cannot give you the view of a foreigner because they simply don't know how it is to be living in a foreign land and to move to Russia. I can, because I've done that before. Okay, first of all, Michael, say hi, hello to everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Then don't прожуй и не кушай. Просто посмотри. Смотри, он тебе пишет, видишь? Everyone says, hello, Michael.
Hello.
That's for you. Не кушай на камеру. Давай. Okay, we had another. Закрой только дверь. Наташ, хочешь сказать hello? Ну ничего, это очень классно. Anyway, the Russians, they have no clue what a foreigner goes through when he or she moves to Russia. They have no clue what obstacles and what troubles a foreigner faces here. But they also have no clue what foreigners like the most about living in Russia and what they don't get in the West. Okay, that's perhaps there's a possibility for me to make something useful. But anyway, it's just I'm thinking aloud. Thank you so much for your idea, Julie F. Exploring with Azunas. Again, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. And I have just decided to make an iPhone fund. And I'm not advertising it or anything else, but all the super chats will go to my fund. Do you or did you get to travel to work? Very much so. I traveled for work a lot, but I'm not like a traveling salesperson or anything like that. But I traveled quite a bit, both domestically and internationally. I used to travel to Ukraine every couple of weeks because I have worked for a Ukrainian company, and all my friends are Ukrainians from Odessa. Well, not all, quite a few of them actually. Back in the days, 10 years ago, I used to travel quite so often. I spent summers in Odessa. We had a huge office there. I traveled to Kazakhstan. I traveled to, basically Odessa, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. Then I traveled to France, Italy, Turkey. That's for work. Even traveled to Iran, but not really for work as interpreter. quite a bit. Not lately. The last time I went on a business trip was a couple years ago. No, I mean talking about international business trip. A couple years ago was Madrid. Um, we met the guy who owns Real Madrid, his company. They were trying to do business in Russia, and then we kind of was testing the ground. We went to Madrid, stayed there a couple days, and basically came back. Now the Chinese are asking me to go to China. I don't. So exploring with Azuinas, do you or did not get to travel? I hope you. I got. I answered your question. Deacon Prepper can't stay. Just dropping by to say howdy and give thumbs up. Deacon Prepper, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream and fantastic for you to drop by. Next time, please come and stay longer. Um, Natalia, excellent question. Constantine, is the photos on the back of you have a shape of the USA? I didn't do them. These are the photos that my 13-year-old one did, and she arranged everything. That's her room. The only time I come into her room is when I do the streams because I don't have any other place to do the streams in my own apartment. We have such a large family. The house is different. House is, oh my god, that's so much more convenient. But anyway, I'm sorry. I have a super chat of $19 from Zen Psymer. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thanks for such an interesting look at Russian life. You know, first of all, it's interesting for me because I do not consider myself 100% Russian. Really, the United States really corrupted me. I don't look at Russia the same way I did when I was growing up. Like I said, I traveled and I got this virus. I saw how people lived in the United States, and I loved it for the most part. I loved the values, I loved the work ethic, I loved freedom that you guys enjoy. I loved almost everything about it. And but I am Russian at heart. I was born and grew up in Russia, so I kind of combined what I saw in the United States with what's in my heart, and a hybrid has been created. So you can call me a hybrid or mutant. Well, hybrid is better. So I came back to I can't really look at the United States as you guys are looking at your motherland because I know it almost as well as you do, but I have Russian in me. So I'm looking at it a little bit from a different angle. But I also look at Russia from your angle because I it's really hard to explain. I'm not 100% Russian. I know how things can be and or how things are different in Russia. Some things are different. So anyway, thank you for your super chat, and I've seen you in like live streams a few times, and you're very welcome here. And please keep on coming back for more. If you guys want me to make videos on something, please let me know. And now I'm going to take 1 minute break because I've been drinking lots of tea, literally over a quart of tea, I think, and lots of Coke. Hang on 1 second. You gotta look at my. You gotta look at my. Be right back. Guys, I'm back. Oh, sorry. Unexpected break. Oops. 68 people. As soon as something happens, like 1 minute or half minute, tons of people leave. But I'm back. I'm back from outer space. That's something new because I usually don't drink that much. And today it's tea and Coke. Lorna, you're funny. You know, those two ladies, Lorna and Mammy, they are a riot. They are so funny. All right, anything happened? Anything interesting since I left? Matthew Duquette, love your streams. Keep it going, comrade. Thank you, Matthew. I have all intentions on doing that. It's a cool idea, whoever did it. Ross Matthews. Well, hybrid better, but you can call me mutant as well. William S. Do I have any superpowers? I do. I do, as a matter of fact. I do have superpowers to screw some things up, you know, to, you know, A plus Russian. That's fascinating. My hobby felt the same way when he went back to visit Russia after living here for a dozen years. But you see, it works not only for the Russians who moved to the other countries like the United States, it also works for the Americans who moved to Russia. Back in 2003, a long time ago, we moved to Russia with my first wife, ex-wife, Bonnie, and my daughter, Sky. And let me tell you something. There was a large American community in Russia back then. There were fewer Americans living here now. Well, perhaps I just know fewer Americans, but back then we were in the heart of the American community. There were quite a few people here from the United States who moved permanently and lived in Russia. And I remember was one guy, his name was Bob, and he was talking to my ex-wife, and he said, "You know, Bonnie, you're never gonna be the same. You're never gonna look at the United States the same as you have had been looking at it, because you're gonna understand so many things now that you couldn't understand while you were living in the United States, and you're not gonna be the same person ever because." Out of two pills, the blue and the red one, you've taken the red pill. And that's exactly what happened. She's never been the same. She's been much more critical of different issues. She's been her eyes have been like wide open since then. So I relate. I relate what you're saying. Nikita Khrushchev. Hello, comrade. Hello, comrade. Right back at you. Matt from Florida. Julie F. He's Russia American. You talking about me? Russia American? Yeah, that's funny. Never heard that before. Matt from Florida. Many companies are fleeing China. Bad changes happening there. On China, last week, a good friend of mine, she's been a power broker like for years, I think decades. She called me up and she said, "Listen, we gotta meet this Chinese guys. They come over from China. They have something to propose us." All right, so they come into our office. We have a meeting, and that's not much they propose. They propose money. Okay, they have so much money, and they're vacuum cleaning everything, brains, technologies, everything. So nothing new there. But what I learned from their visit is fresh, right? Fresh news, guys. So notice China has been changing over the past couple years. The confrontation with the United States is shaping up a new China. Before, China was open for different businesses, for students to travel abroad and study at foreign colleges. Tourists, Chinese tourists, like going everywhere around the world, coming back. Gosh, Moscow was full of Chinese. All our menus are like in the center of town. Are in three languages: English, Russian, and Chinese. Okay, just anywhere you'd go, like places I took you, Gorky Park, Sparrow Hills, Red Square, that'd be bus loads of the Chinese, and they're so loud. They like run everywhere. That changed. Now the Chinese government has a different paradigm. It says no Chinese students go outside of China to study ever. Chinese government does not sponsor that, doesn't finance that, and they make obstacles for the Chinese students to go outside. They say you are Chinese, you study in China. Same thing they're like telling the tourists, you do not go out of China for sites and for tourism anymore. We have wonderful places like Hainan Island and Yellow Sea and warm weather in China. You go and vacate there. They're talking about vacuum cleaning as many scientists as they can find and as many technologists as they can lay their hands on. And they have tons of money now because they had budgets allocated for working with the United States, and now that's forbidden. Okay, so they put their money someplace else. And one of the countries where they do that is Russia, because Russia, it has lots of scientists, lots of technologists, but it desperately needs money. They come in and they offer Russian scientists to go to China and offering crazy money. If I was a scientist, it would be crazy not to agree. Okay, they just bring you to China, pay you incredibly high amount of money, give you free room and board, free travel, just anything. So that's what I have recently learned. You guys take notice. Bob S. Constantine, good job. Just seen over 80 watching. I saw 81, which is, guys, this is like crazy. Thank you so much. I'm looking at that little number on top of my screen and I'm saying to myself, these people actually find me enjoyable and useful. What I tell them is useful and enjoyable. Okay, they have trust in me. And I would like to thank you guys. Thank you so much. These numbers show me that, I'm doing something right, I guess. Lorna, that was the first bathroom break I've ever taken during my live streams. As far as I remember, when I walk, I don't drink that much. Spark is run. Freedom is in your soul. Once tasted, perhaps your heritage is Russia. My heritage is Ireland, but deeply I'm a free person. Like USA was founded on, so both reside inside us. Yes, Spark is run. I totally agree with you. We have Mutant Rife. Welcome. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Welcome. We're just discussing that I am also a mutant inside, hybrid or a mutant. Mutant Constantine, you are down to earth and a good man. Thank you so much. I'm not even trying. That's really I'm not acting on camera. I'm just being who I am. A plus. It's your personality, your style, your knowledge, and the community you generate with those. Thank you so much. Again, thank you. Thank you. It's very pleasant to hear. Ironwood, remember that both Russia and the US are changing all the time. This isn't 90s US anymore. We should have seen the 70s. You should have seen the 70s. It was great. I keep thinking about that, Ironwood. I keep thinking that America of the 70s and the 80s, perhaps the 90s also, early 90s perhaps, probably was the best place in the world ever in the history of mankind. I've thought about it before. It's fun. That if I were to choose where I wanted to live, I'd pick up America of the yesteryears. If John Liebold is still watching me, he'd probably be a little upset. And I'm speaking so highly about the United States. Sorry, John. I've never been to Australia, but I've heard it's a great country, and I wish I could go one day. So I'm not saying anything good about Australia because I have nothing to compare with. I haven't been there. Lorna, you like to lighten the mood, and trust me, you do. You do lighten. Great job. Okay, guys. Anything else would you like me to speak on? Perhaps any pressing issues on Russia, or you have questions? Meanwhile, let me go to my YouTube section where they show the super chats and super thanks. Okay, guys, I would like to name out every single person who's contributed a super chat. Thank you so much. Dude, seriously, was the very first person. Okay, it was 16th of May, and I remember I was just speaking on camera, chatting with you guys, answering the questions, and all of a sudden I saw boom, $5, and I'm like, what's that? And people were like, hey, this is a super chat. This is a donation that someone gave it to you. And I'm like, what? They actually, sometimes you get money for this? And it's pretty cool. So thank you. You are the very first person who did a super chat. Matt Yinger, many times after that, you've given me some money. Thank you so much. CBCLI333, Sue Hatton, Augie the Rat, Sparky's Run, Silver Lining, Pinball Preparedness, Mr. Pinball himself, Silver Stacks, Trucker Jim, Mrs. Gray, Chief Jim, Jason Babilla, quite a few times, large amounts. Thank you so much. Michael J. Mead, Susan M., Jody Stallard, Sassy 56 Plus, Frank in Texas, Patricia Bonifant, Russian Plus, Patty B, Sunset, EMS Paramedic Liz, Patty B, Lockheed, thank you so much. Crazy Russian Sergey, Comrade sleeps in his tent, generous enough to give me 100 rubles, $1.50. Very appreciated, thank you. Exploring with the Zoonas. Steve M. Earl Lucky. A plus Russian. Steve M. again, many times. BG. Anarchy. Dick. Oi. Dirk Miesler, my German friend. Wayne, my Russian mate from Russia. Kim, guys, you have been absolutely great. Thank you so much. All the money that you've gave me as super chats have gone to the good cause. I took my wife out to dinners. I ate. I drank. I bought my girls something. I can't really tell you exactly because I just, I took the money and I spent it as my like general account. But very good cause. Thank you so much. You guys awesome and you rock. Well, I was gonna say please keep on coming back for more, but I'll say hey please keep on doing that more. Thank you so much again. Now back to the comments. Constantine, I've seen the USA changing since 1963. Michael Jamie, thank you again. Thank you for the money and thank you for your wise and good words. I bet. But I think in like let's say in the 60s, in the 70s, and in the 80s, it wasn't changing that much or that bad. I think right now, what's happening right now and what's happening in the teens was much more fast and much more extreme. That's what I think. If I'm not right, please correct me. A plus Russian inside Russia, what is the story of you living in Maine, of all places in the USA? Well, that's a great story. And also another great story is why I came back and I left Maine for Russia. I have so many stories to tell, guys. So many more videos to make. If you could see inside of my head, you could see the volcano ready to erupt. But I just don't have freaking time. And sometimes I don't have energy to do that all. Anyway, A plus. I had wanted to go to the United States, at least check it out, at least, perhaps not live there permanently, but I wanted to see, I wanted to touch that country, I wanted to taste it, smell it, and it was such an incredible, desire that it brought me to the United States. Okay, at the age of 20, I went to school for a year, just for 1 year, and at first I went to UC Davis, which is University of California in Davis, next to Sacramento. Extremely hot. The school was fantastic. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's probably one of the best schools I've ever seen. Not a quality of education wise, but just organization and sheer quantity, sheer like size of the school. 40,000 students, not commuters, but living on campus. And then it was summer session, and then I went to Southern Maine, one of the schools in Southern Maine, for a year, and the very first time, it was not my choice, actually. I was given a scholarship there. And the first time they told me about that school, and they said, well, it's in Maine. And I looked, and I said, where? I said, it's in Maine. I said, where is Maine? What is Maine? Never heard of it. Is it not too far from California, I hope? The guy looked at me and said, well, kind of far. I'm like, how far? Is it close to Colorado? And he's like, I think it's a little farther than that. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like towards the New York. He's like, you know what? Even farther. I'm like, he gave me a map of the United States, and he said, you better figure it out on your own. And it was a huge map, and I was looking for, I don't know, 10 minutes. State after state after state. And all of a sudden, I look northeast, and I'm like, Maine? This is where Maine is? Oh my God. But I kind of had no choice. So I went to Washington D.C. at first, spent there some time, then flew to I think it was San Jose, so or no Sacramento. Okay, I was flying out of San Jose, so I spent summer session at the Davis. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was great, and it was August, late August, and Davis was enjoying the weathers in 110. I think it was incredibly hot. And I flew to Maine, and I remember I landed at 110 in Davis. I came to Maine. Oh my God! I mean, guys, it's a tiny school. Oh my God, I was in shock. So over that year, 2 semesters, I just kind of fell in love with Maine. Not at first sight. At first sight, it was like a hate relationship. I'm like, why did I come here? Or the city of Rostov where I grew up. But I fell in love with the place. It's the way the life should be. It's a vacation land. That's where people come to vacate. Um, no crime, fantastic. What? Not weather. Fantastic. Ocean. Fantastic. That's winters are great in Maine. Cold but great. So much snow. Beautiful. Summers are not too hot. Falls are long and late. Springs are early. It's a great place. I don't know. I just fell in love. I had a choice of what I would do after finishing 2 semesters at school, and I decided to stay over in Maine in the same school and finishing it and working later, stuff like that. Okay, buffering. Is it still buffering or is it okay now? Guys, let me know. Is it buffering? What's going on? It's okay now. Great. Something must have been wrong with my internet. Okay. So I heard you heard my story about Maine until the end. If you haven't, tell me. Let me go on. Guys, is it any better now? Okay. I switched from Wi-Fi to my mobile. Any better? No. Goofy autocorrect. Okay, now morning light. I hope everything is well. Let me know, where did you guys lose me? I was telling my story about Maine. A little blurry. Oh. Let me know where you lost me. The video is not as clear. Probably because internet has downgraded somehow. I will try in a couple minutes. I'll try to go back to the Wi-Fi. Heard all the story. Okay, Manier. Yes, my main friend. Maine is great. Maine is great. I like the South because I was born and grew up in South, but Russia South is like Maine, to be honest with you. Perhaps like Massachusetts weather-wise. It has 4 seasons. It has you know cold weather and hot weather and stuff like that. Russia definitely enjoys much hotter and much drier summers than Maine, and approximately same. Not as much snow though. Yes, it is our secret. By the way, believe it or not, guys, but one of guests on my channel, Manier, he is in the same place where I lived in Maine. So we're the homeboys, kind of. We're from the same place. Old Orchard Beach, Saco, Biddeford. Ironwood, why did you have to move from the USA? I think I told the story in one of my first streams, but since there are so many more people here now, in a nutshell, I felt that I was about to as a cultural person, the Russian inside of me, inside of American culture. I had spent there for like 9 years, and I got into a point where I had to make a choice what to do with my life next. I felt like I had to make one step. It's like I don't know if you guys heard this name is the Rubicon has been passed. Julius Caesar said that when he moved legions into Rome, there had been like there was like a very important rule in the Roman Republic that no legionnaire must touch the soil, the earth, the ground of Rome, and the Rome was bordered by a little stream, like a small river called Rubicon. And Julius Caesar decided to become the dictator, and he actually moved his legions to Rome. He broke the law, and there was no way back. Okay, he knew by giving the order of his legions to move to Rome and to topple the Senate, he was making himself an outlaw. And if he failed, he'd be prosecuted, executed. But if he succeeded, it'd be a different story. But anyway, when he gave the order and his legions stepped over Rubicon one by one, he was looking and he said, yes, yeah. And he said, the Rubicon has been crossed. There you go. And I felt exactly like Julius Caesar. I was standing there, and my wife, first wife, ex-wife, had graduated from nursing school. She had a degree, and we were kind of on a crossroad. We were deciding what to do next, and the two choices were whether to stay in Maine, which probably would not happen because we wanted to move to California. Surprise, surprise. And we actually had gone to California like a summer before and scouted the places to live. And we found a perfect place for us. My wife, ex-wife, wife then, got an offer from hospital or something like General Hospital or Hospital of Santa Barbara. The real estate was so expensive then that we couldn't afford to live in Santa Barbara. But we found a perfect spot south of Santa Barbara called Carpinteria, and the locals call it, okay? It's just a perfectly, it's like a well-kept secret, okay, of like that area. Ventura County or Santa Barbara County, I don't know. This place was not too expensive, fantastic beach, one of the best beaches I've ever seen. Mountains in like a little further inland, great climate. It enjoyed everything Santa Barbara did, only at smaller price. And so we had a choice: stay in Maine, and I would be like I would buy a hotel, and I would become, instead of like general manager of a chain, I would become like one of our shareholders, like a minor partner, okay, but a partner anyway in business, because I had some friends who were like inviting me to do that. Or I could move to California. We as a family could move. And I understood that if we made the step and would move back to we moved to California, then our Rubicon would be crossed for me, and I would never go back to Russia. And I had so much still at that time connected to Russia, linked to Russia. My parents were still young, well, relatively young, and they were in Russia. I hadn't seen them often. I had huge family in Russia, and I had ties to every single one, and I felt like if I were to stay in the United States and move to California, then those ties, those strings attached, cut off, and that's it. There would be no back. So decided to go back to Russia because one of the opportunities awaited me in Russia. I was given a job offer, excellent one, and we decided to go to Russia. Initially for a few years, and then the decision would be to stay in Russia, and if we liked it, to extend our stay. If we didn't, to come back. So then life happened, and well, all is good. I have no regrets of coming back to Russia whatsoever. So it's been quite a long story. Ironwood, I hope I answered your question. Watching but not at chat for a bit. Dishes, always the dishes. Morning light, I know. Manier, I'm a girl laughing out loud. I'm sorry. Somehow I had understanding that you were a boy. I apologize. Matthew Duquette, do you have apartment in a house? Dacha? If so, do you have your own banya? I want to be guest at a real Russian home when I visit. Matthew, I have a few. Well, we as a family own new properties. We have an apartment here in Moscow, which is for an average Russian family is large, about 1,100 square feet. For us, it's is not enough. We have a house, fantastic house in the south of Russia. I like it very much. A little bit of land, right in the city, but it feels like in the country. And my parents, well, my mom, dad passed away. He has, well, they have a house. They had it. My mom has a house, a townhouse. I made a video about that. No banya. Well, actually, in the house in Rostov, we have a little sauna in the basement, but we never use it because it's not real deal. You know what I mean? Rather go to banya. If you want to go to banya, watch my video tomorrow. In 24 hours, I'm gonna upload it on Sunday night. We frequent banya every single Saturday or Sunday. Well, perhaps every other. We try every weekend, but usually it works out that we go every other weekend. Me and my banya friends, we go this, and I made a video about that recently, and I'm about to upload tomorrow. Check it out. Ironwood, looking back, it was a good move. Going back to Russia. Look at California now. Ironwood, I think like these things are very personal. Depends on it. You're generalizing a little bit. Some people still live in California, and like they leading fantastic lives, I'm sure. And some people moved back to Russia like me, and they had their life in ruins. It all depends on the person. Zen Psymer, thank you so much for being here, and super chat again. Thank you. Take care. Matthew, I think you're gonna love tomorrow's bunny video. Guys, another news. I just had an email from Patreon. Looks like we have a new. I have a new patron. That's Susan G. Just became my patron. Thank you so much. Let me know if you'd like me to send you a postcard from Russia. From Russia with love, and from my heart with love. Ross Matthews. Okay. Oh, yeah. You're just breaking my world. I am from San Diego and I would not go back to communist California. Didn't we have this conversation before? Um, I can't say anything about like what's going on in California because I haven't witnessed anything. I just heard the rumors. I heard that's it. But what I remember about San Diego is perfect climate, fantastic weather, fantastic beaches, best in the world, really. Great this rolling mountains, rolling hills. Driving from LA to San Diego's fantastic drive through Orange County, then I think is it San Diego County. I hope whatever bad is happening is not for long because California is such a fantastic place that deserves more. If you know what I mean, people who live there deserve more. Just crazy. Julie F. Constantine is such a sweet person. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. Susan G, thank you for supporting the channel. That's one of the moderators says. Listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. A plus. How do you get people to find your Patreon page inside Russia? If you look at any of the videos, it says right in the description, the very first line, please support my cause at Patreon, or let me see what it says. Let me see what it says. Please consider supporting my cause at PayPal or Patreon. That's what it says. It's very simple. You just click the link and it brings you to Patreon. Rose Matthews, it was the Golden State, but no longer. Many are leaving. Ross, you see, life is like that. It changes over time. Nothing is set in stone, so to speak. It's just sad that so many people leave California. I've heard that before. A lot of Russian immigrants. There are journals for the Russians who have left Russia for the United States. A lot of immigrants, they, saying the same thing. They moved to Texas, they moved to other the states east of California, Colorado, because they can't take it in California anymore. High taxes, homelessness, all kinds of bad stuff. Sad. What can I say? The Golden State. It's my most favorite place in the world ever. Well, in my world, in my virtual world, I still remember first time I flew to Los Angeles. As of my Japanese friend here now, we flew from Las Vegas. We rented a car at LAX. And we drove to stay at a friend of mine at a place called Camarillo. It's northwest of Los Angeles. And then we drove to Santa Monica next morning. And I remember looking at that place and like, wow, I'm finally here. I've seen that place so many times in the movies, everywhere, and I'm finally here. And the feelings that I was getting back then, I still remember them. Then at night, well, we drove around. We went Santa Monica, Venice Beach. Then we drove to Hollywood, the Walk of Fame. Very strange place. And then a little bit later, when the sun was setting, we drove up to a Griffith Observatory, and I remember like there was darkness, and I remember looking at Los Angeles, and What a magnificent sight it was. I was like speechless. I was like, wow, this is the must be the top of the world, you know. Julie, his English is fantastic. Thank you so much. Not as fantastic as I wanted it to. At least you can understand me sometimes. That's good enough. Maureen, evening from London. Um Maureen, evening or actually night from Moscow, Russia. I am at home. Too cold outside and everything closed. So I decided to do a stream from home. Let me tell you something. Not one day goes by without me remembering, recalling London these days because my best friend, I have like three best friends ever, and one of them lives in London. He's a citizen of Great Britain, and but he's originally from Ukraine. The guy, like, I lived with in the United States. The best friend of mine. Anyway, he comes visits from London, and then he always brings presents. He brings the tea. Tea is just absolutely horrible. No matter how much you pay, you get horrible tea. And I love tea. And my friend brings me a simple Marks and Spencer um, thingy of tea. It's something premium Marks and Spencer tea, like very cheap. He says it's like 4 or 5 per box, and that tea is pure gold. So, and I've been drinking this tea for the past 2 weeks, and every single time I put that sachet out of my. It's actually in here. Ah, it smells so good. Somehow I cannot find tea like this. And this is the very most simple tea you can get at any store near you in London. How fair is that? Anyway, evening from Moscow, Russia. Ross, it's the Democrats that ruined that state. We'll talk about it later. A plus says, listen to Inside Russia. That's a good start. I like that. Yo, he's got the right approach. Sure, many people are in California, but probably as many are moving there. What's bad in your view and the great in another's view, point of view. Well, that's very true too. Julie, not 10 years, I think 9 plus, almost 10 years. Joshua Halsell, Constantine, I've been going back to California all the time since 1982, when I was born. All my family is in Los Angeles region. The place is changing, unfortunately, not for good. Even from the 90s. Joshua, would you please tell me exactly how it's to the worst? For example, many homeless people, or taxes going up, crime rate going up, or what exactly? What they're going bad so we can touch it? You know what I mean? I would love to know that. We have a super chat. Matthew Duquette, $5. Thank you so much. Now that I have my 3-year visa, hope you'll be available. The possibility give me a tour and allow me to take you and your family out to eat during my visit. Matthew, with pleasure. Please come to Moscow and let me know in advance. We'll work something out. Julie, why are pinball's streams are crazy? Because too many people. Unfortunately, when pinball starts his stream, it's like 4 a.m. I've been able to stay, like, manage to wake up on a couple of streams, and I think the last one was a few weeks, My stream was until like almost 3 a.m. in the morning. It was a crazy stream. It was a very long one. And I went on pinballs and I saw so many people. It had changed so much since when I first found pinball in February. It had like 7,000 people, 7,000 subscribers. Now it's like 60,000. And the stream is messages go like this. Tick, 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 tick. Still like I didn't have time to read them. Is this is why you're saying that his streams are crazy, or for any other reason? Julie, 9+, I love it. Well, I want to be correct because I did not live in the United States for 10 years. Karen Brown, hello from America, Central Illinois, blessings. Karen from Russia with love, sending you. Hope you get it soon. Susan S. I see that you changed your name. A+1 Russian. They went to other parts of the U.S. Then it would be so much worse. But they have a large immigrant population due to high benefits. Other tapewares must pay. One thing, guys, I don't understand, I haven't understood, I won't understand is why the United States is giving financial aid to immigrants. Isn't the right to work and live in the United States legally, make money, enjoy all freedoms, all the perks that Americans enjoy, isn't that enough of a reason to come to the United States? Why do you spoil immigrants? Immigrants are the most hard-working people because they know that they're gonna start from, page one, blank page basically, when they come to the United States. They start new life at the very bottom, and it's up to them to climb up, and it's only hard work that brings them up. The harder work, the better life they lead. They have all the possibilities, but why in the world the immigrants are given benefits? You just killing their motivation to become Americans. The hell is going on? You basically are cutting in Russia. You are cutting a branch of a tree that you are sitting on. And once you cut it, you're going to fall along with the branch. Anyway, let's not talk about immigration. That's a different long discussion. I was just ranting a little bit. I just saw the comment. Okay, I see answer from Joshua. It's a combination of high taxes, low pickup traffic. All has been here. It is one I feel too after college, but again so. But I say now homeless situation out of control, not safe for families. So it's low paying job, high taxes, traffic, and homelessness crime rate probably. Is it just Los Angeles or it's all over Southern California? Suzanne, California finances are so dire. They have been trying to vote to break into 3 smaller states. Holy cow. I remember California was in mess financially uh, when in the early teens when Davis Gray was the governor. Remember, there was a recall and Arnold Schwarzenegger kicked him out of the office. And I think Arnold has brought the finances back in order, or at least a great deal. I guess they're out of hand again. Run. Constantine, like Julie, I want to know what kind of tea do you like or love best? Is it only found in Russia? I didn't really see. Julie was asking me that. I must have missed it. Um, okay, this is crazy. All right, I cannot stand this about Russia, and tea is just one example. Like I said, in my YouTube channel, in my videos, in my streams, I talk about Russia the way it is. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's plenty of everything. There's plenty. Some of the stuff is great. Some not so great. Some is ugly, okay? Tea is ugly. Plain and simple. I love tea. I know how a good tea tastes like. I have tried tea that people bring me from Ceylon. I used to, well, I didn't drink tea in the United States. I drank coffee. And coffee in Russia is good. It's comparable to the United States. But the tea is just not good. I don't know why. I think it's because the tea traders here are greedy and they take good tea from Ceylon, China, and they mix it with bad tea. And the combination is just like no matter how much I pay for tea, no matter how, like, where I go, what store, I buy it and it's not it. You know the feeling when you just taste something and it's like, it's not it. Ah, no, all of a sudden you take something and it's like, oh, this is it. I am yet to find the tea in Russia that I'm about to say, oh, this is it. The last good tea I brought from Turkey. And in Turkey, it's like a regular tea bought over the counter. And it costs less than in Russia. But it's like ways better. My friend from London brings over tea Marks and Spencer. It's like gold ultimate. But anyway, it's like very cheap. It's sold over the counter. The very first time he brought me, I said, okay, I am going to order from iHerb. iHerb is the American huge website, very popular for, sending you vitamins and things like that. So I ordered Marks and Spencer tea. And I'm like, okay, I picked it up, I put a sachet in the boiling water, and I tried it. I'm like, what the fudge? This is not it. And I wrote the small type, the small print, and it said, manufactured in Poland for Russia. I'm like, oh my God. Manufactured in Poland for Russia. So anyway, what kind of a tea I drink? Any good tea, doesn't matter. It's just in Russia, I'm yet to find good tea. I know Marks and Spencer's that's on sale everywhere in the UK. Is great. Must be the same thing in the United States. Like quality tea. That's it. Sorry for answering for such a long time, but that's really it's driving me nuts. Matthew, take care. It was great to see you, and please come back for more. Probably wasn't buffering. It was just me frozen and looking at the comments. Sparky's Run, Ceylon tea, perfect. Sri Lanka tea, perfect. Even I don't know, Indian tea, perfect. Chinese have great tea, perfect. Not buffering, guys. I'm just looking. Matthew, let me know what you'd like to bring from USA when I visit in December. I will let you know. Julia F. Constantine, please let me know where to send some. We'll make sure you get some. Julie, I would love to. Thank you. Go to the description of my videos that I upload, and there's a PO box right down below in the description. Let me know. If you don't find it, email me and I'll email you the address back. Spark is around now. We'll send you tea. Guys, you know what? If you want to send me tea, that'd be fantastic. I would take all the tea in the world. Great stuff. I drink tea like crazy. Oh, another thing. Very interesting. A couple days, I had insomnia. Um, I couldn't sleep until 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And you know what? That's so out of sorts for me because I can sleep anywhere, anyhow, and I just lay my head to a pillow and that's it. 30 seconds later, I fall asleep. My wife gets upset about me because she can't fall asleep so easily. Everything bothers, small sounds bother our, Anyway, I fall asleep so quickly, and for the first time in my life, I had insomnia. I couldn't fall asleep. And I'm thinking, what the heck? I must be getting old. Must be a sign of disease. Must be something. And then I'm thinking, wait a second. What had been doing those 2 nights? I had been on the internet editing videos, making videos, and drinking tea. And I usually drink tea anyway, and I fall asleep. I'm like, wait a second, what kind of tea was I drinking? I was drinking the tea that my friend brought me from London. And that tea is actually natural and it has caffeine. But the tea that I usually drink in Russia doesn't have caffeine. I don't know what that is. And I never stay up from it. From the real tea, I do. From the Russian tea that I buy, I don't. So that's kind of funny. So, guys, if you send me tea, that'd be fantastic. I like, I don't know, just regular tea. Earl Grey, is fine. It's one of the sorts. What's this in English? What's this? I forgot. Butterfly peach. Eastern Asia, so good and very healthy. Guys, I don't like this tea with different tastes. Like they sell here in Russia, they sell peach tea, raspberry tea, cranberry tea, all kinds of. But they just take tea and they put additives to it, so it tastes and smells like. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like just pure tea that smells like tea and tastes like tea. Peach, no, nothing. Thank you so much, Julie. Not buffering. Bergamot, Earl Grey. It's good for a change. Earl Grey is fine. Sometimes I like to do is make my own tea cocktails. I make basic tea and add some grass to it. A plus, you should know. I don't know these English words. Шалфей, Zveroboy. Yeah, love oolong. We call it the white tea. Love it too. Susan, I love the white tea oolong. Tell you what, When I receive the tea, Julie, I'm gonna make a video of unpacking, making the tea, and drinking it, and I'm gonna upload it. So everyone will be, all people will be envious. All right. If you know these in English, I'm gonna look it up right now. You guys let me know if you know these teas. But my cellular, my Wi-Fi isn't. Nah, it's working. Так. Let me look up the English words for grasses that sometimes I put into my teas. Very, very strange words, guys. Zveroboy. Zveroboy. St. John's wort. St. John's wort. Zveroboy. Okay, so one of the grasses sometimes I put is St. John's wort. Another one, mint. Well, you all know mint. Another one is Shalfei. Sage. Okay. Another one is what else? Anyway, that's enough for now. So what I do is I make basic tea and sometimes a little bit of each herb, grass herb, and it gives like very, very delicate, very, very nice taste to tea. I call it the tea cocktail. Luvanon, Constantine, have you ever been to Pushkin? Of course I have. If you mean the infamous restaurant, the most expensive in Russia, I think. Yes, I have been there a couple times. Place is great, very posh, very, very expensive, very, how do I say that? Very Russian. I've taken my business partners, well, our possible business partners at work a few times, the Italian guys, the out of towners. Great. If you ever in Moscow, you should visit Pushkin. Fantastic place. But very expensive. Morning light. Do you mean herbal? Yes, herbal. Different herbs. Like I said, the wort and all kinds of other words. St. John's wort. Susan, I had an amazing tea shop near my house that imported the best teas from around the world. It's closed during. My goodness, that's a bummer. Let me tell you what happens here in Russia. Okay, there are tons of different fancy tea shops, small tea shops. They call it the boutiques. Some of the teas are expensive. For example, for a kilo of tea, you can easily pay $100. Okay, but even more expensive than that. But the thing is, I have tried some of those teas, and they just take cheap tea, mix it with something, and pretend it's a very expensive tea. I've spoken to a few Chinese traders, and they laugh their butts out. They're saying Russians are so stupid because what we sell here for pennies, Russian traders come and buy of us and then resell for like hundreds and thousands of dollars. And Russians buy that and just drive me nuts. Rose Matthews, Constantine, did you lose taste with 17? Which time? The first, the second, or the third time? Lost smell for the first time, certainly lost smell for the second time, and for the third time. The taste, no. First time it changed a little bit, but I didn't lose it completely. The second time, also, like some things tasted funky, not like they usually taste. And the third time, taste was fine. Just the How about using Zavarka? How about it, Matthew? Zavarka, basically the tea that you put boiling water over, and that's the tea is called Zavarka. Matthew, herbs in general are great for immune system and for body in general. Carol, Cafe Pushkin in Moscow seems to be very popular with many YouTubers. Um, Interesting. That's a good idea. I should go. I should go and make a video. Probably not the stream, but a video from there. Thanks for the idea, Carol. By the way, I saw you on, turning down that job. Great choice. As long as you are enjoying yourself, enjoying life, and that's the right choice. I'm glad you made that choice. Robert Mayer says vodka kills COVID. It's a very controversial thing. It does not. If vodka killed COVID, then all Russians would be COVID free. Russia would be the island free of COVID. But that's not the case, unfortunately. Elderberry. There you go. Elderberry. Elderberry. It, I know what it is. I forgot in Russian. How do you say that? It's A plus. Спекулянты имеют право. Markup on phone is the same thing as the Pushkin restaurant. A plus. You see, that's not entirely true. I mean, that's true. You can sell things at any price as long as people buy it and pay the price. But to sell iPhone with markup of like $500-$600 something, because it's an iPhone, okay, and people are honest about it, you know what to buy. And to sell the tea that they pretend is much more expensive and much more quality tea is completely different. So, but they basically, Apple isn't lying. They just showing us the product and saying, hey, this is a great iPhone. It has great cameras, long battery life, great screen. It's expensive. Take it or leave it, But the tea trader, the crook comes in and says, oh my gosh, look, I bought this tea in China in the remote mountains for $1,000 per kilo, and I'm selling it for $2,000 as a favor to you. As in reality, he bought it in a huge market in Beijing for 50 cents per kilo. You know what I mean? And then he's just like adding something, making it taste a little different, badyažit, and then reselling for a couple grand. I think that's wrong. Okay, that's a little different. Ironwood inside Russia. Did you pay for the iPhone in Moscow? 1,700 American dollar. Green box. 1,700. iPhone 13 Pro Max. 256. Joan Snosky, do you tea in the summer? That's good with some cranberry juice in it. Joan, no. We barely ever drink iced. This is something I first tried in the United States. Love iced tea myself, personally. Love iced coffee, iced chocolate, but not in Russia. Somehow it's one of the things that don't live well, don't mix well with the Russians. Ironwood, that's not a problem. Matthew, sorry, I meant from a traditional samovar. Fantastic experience. Listen, traditional samovars, great. The company, the setting, samovar, one of the best samovar the tea parties I had was in Yalta. Oh, you go up in the mountains, they have this place where the custom made 100-year-old samovars, and they're not electrical. You actually make fire, you put coals, hot coals, and you put inside of samovar, and that's how you boil your tea. Your water for your tea. And that's just, it tastes different, it smells different, so much better. Buffering, I'm just reading the comments. Julie, they had to replace my phone because it's got a lot of problems and it's less than 6 months old. I hope it's not the iPhone 13 Pro Max that you had to replace. In Russia, they don't replace your phone, even if it has problems easily. They just say, hey, it's your problem. In Russia, we have a great saying, we're kind of American saying. When they sell you a phone, and then later on, phone has a problem, you come back and say, hey guys, your phone that you sold me has problems. And they look at you and they say, well, buddy, that's your problem. And the problem of the Indians are of no interest to the sheriff. That's word to word what they say in Russia. Matthew, according to Cafe Pushkin's website, the mansion was built by St. Petersburg nobleman in the 1780s and later passed to a German aristocrat before becoming pharmacy and finally cafe. Matthew, very well can be, but don't listen too much what they say, because they can just tell you the world. But that could be true. Basically, Cafe Pushkin is definitely a historic place because all the houses, absolutely all the houses in that vicinity are historical because they were built 150, 200 years ago. Old Moscow, we call it, the old historical center. So something must have been there. Not necessarily what they're saying, but something historic must have been there. Julie, I've also had the iPhones since the first one. Not every single one, because I usually miss one or two iPhones. I buy and it's me for like 3 years, sometimes even 4. A plus. That's not a funny thing about Russian businesses, not on warranties. We complain a lot about in the USS, but A plus Russian. The laws in Russia are there. If a large store or something, they must honor warranties, or the manufacturer must honor. But you have to go out of your way to have it done. If you know what I mean. It's not as easy as, oh, you go in and they give you a new phone. Even Apple, okay, even Apple screws people over here. I have my, well, this is it. I have my Apple MacBook Pro, 15-inch, and it had a faulty screen, and the screen went dead. And basically, Apple didn't do anything about it. I went to Apple and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's out of warranty. Not much we can do." I said, "But that's your fault." He said, "We know, but unfortunately, we're not covering this." I wrote Tim Cook an email, very short one, and he did not reply. So I had to pay like $500 to fix the screen, basically replace it. So even companies like Apple, who in the United States, for example, is like excellent customer service, okay, in Russia, I guess the problems of the Indians are of no interest of Apple. Julie, about on iPhones, I've skipped a couple generations myself. Well, the thing is, to me, it doesn't make any sense to buy an iPhone every year because they all are the same. The only difference is for me is in the cameras. And now, since for the past couple years I've been doing YouTube, but if I wasn't doing YouTube, I'd be totally fine with this another iPhone X10R. It's fine. It's a perfect phone. It doesn't let me down. It hasn't let me down once. It works. And guess what? The iPhone I just bought, I cloned the new one from the old one, and the new one looks absolute exact copy of my old one. Okay, the only difference is size, the screen, the battery life, and the cameras, and that's it. Okay, why would if you don't need cameras that bad, why would you buy like every new iPhone that comes out every year? They work, they don't break. It's like Julie, Constantine, I beg to differ. Apple customer service in the US. Well, Julie used to be great in the old days. That's too bad. Fantastic products. I bought my first Apple MacBook in 2011. I ordered. Natasha was visiting New York, and I asked her to pick up a MacBook Air, and she did. And I used it for 5 years, and it didn't give me one single problem. I broke the screen in that thing, and when I brought to fix it, they told me, "Listen, to fix this screen is going to cost you more than you'd pay for a new computer." So I went out and bought this one. And since then, I changed keyboards twice, okay, because they keep on breaking. I changed a speaker once because it just failed to work. Thank goodness it was still in the warranty. And I changed the screen. That's how far their quality just had gone down. Carol, I'm still fine with iPhone 8 and have changed the battery on my phone. And this is exactly what I'm saying. If you don't need, like, if I didn't need great camera on the phone, this iPhone 13 Pro Max is a breakthrough in terms of cameras. And guys, I know what I'm talking about because, this phone camera, you've seen it. It's like not so great, but if I didn't need the camera, I would have it for 2, 3 more years. And if battery goes back, you just replace the battery, and that's it. And you're absolutely right. I saw a guy a few years back, like 4 years ago, who was still using the very first, the original iPhone. Was not a friend of mine, a buddy of mine. He stopped using shortly after me, meeting him, because the phone was not supported. But anyway, he had used a telephone for 7 years. It was the very first one. It was very slow. It was, didn't support all, like the new operating system, didn't support many apps, but still it worked. He used it as a phone. It's pretty insane. Steve McGowan, no, this thing is insane. I took pictures. We went to Park Patriot today, and there's a huge collection of old World War II tanks, both Russian and German. No, it's basically in Italian, Japanese, all kinds. And I was taking pictures and filming inside, and you should see the footage. It rivals like DSLR. These guys at Apple are absolutely great. A plus. That's what I mean about speculation on Apple products. They sell at an intergalactic price, but the quality is quite earthly. So kind of like the fake gourmet steens. Okay, all right. If you wish, I still like Apple. I think it's so much better than Windows PCs and Intel PCs. See, this is how I switched to Macs and Apple in general. I had used Windows machines for like 20 years, and I would buy a new laptop every 2 years because the old one would slow down and would kind of like it would work perfectly for the first 6-7 months up to a year, and then it would start collecting spyware, and that you had to reinstall everything. And then I had Sony Vaio model, very expensive $2,000 laptop, and its body was made out of carbon, very lightweight, very like sleek looking, and it kept falling apart, like literally it would fall apart, its box would fall apart, the carbon one, every 2 years. And it was a company's phone, and then they would replace it every 2 years. I went through three computer, not phone, computer, laptop. Okay, so I went through 3 laptops, and I went to Uzbekistan one day. It was a snowstorm in Uzbekistan, and all communications were cut. We couldn't travel because when it's snowstorm, Uzbeks are not used to snow. Okay, and to them it's disaster. So I'm sitting there, and my deadline, one of the projects, is due like soon. And all of a sudden, I get this blue screen of death. That's how it's called in Windows. It means Windows does not work anymore. It just died. It blue screen, and I tried to restart, and it's the same thing. And I call my IT guy, and he's in Fergana, I'm in Tashkent, and he says, "Listen, I cannot come right now because it's going to be at least 3 days because snow and mountain pass is closed and stuff like that." So, and I was so mad, and I don't ever get mad. So I was so mad. I was gonna take that computer and smash it. I was this close, okay, and smash it off the wall because it just ruined everything. It stayed with a blue screen for 2 or 3 hours. Then I tried to restart it once more, and it restarted, and it started working as nothing happened. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm done with this. So Natasha was in New York, and I called her up and I said, listen, pick me up one of those MacBook Airs. They were cheap back then. It was like $800. So okay, no problem. So she brings me a MacBook Air, and I start using it, and I'm like, wow, this is like switching from a Zhiguli, a Russian Lada, to a Mercedes. Why didn't I do it before? And I've been a Mac user ever since. Okay, and then same thing goes for the phones. I tried an Android phone, and I really had a hard time with it. Okay, I like Mac ecosystem so much better. Carol, interesting, Constantine. I have a MacBook Air 11 from 2013, and it's like brand new. And this is Carol. This is what I had late 2011, and it still works. Well, it worked until recently. Just out of curiosity, I would put an internal screen. It actually worked perfectly. It didn't slow down, nothing like that. Bought an Apple Mac Mini on M1 on special offer for Apple for my Mac Mini as a replacement recently. Next year, I'm going to replace my computer. I'm going to buy this brand new MacBook Pro on Mac M1 that just came out. That they look like fantastic machines. But the thing is, I really need a new iPhone for the camera, which is I am streaming right now on, and I'm extremely happy about the quality and about the whole thing. And I'm like, wow, I wish they could have released it before. But I do not need a new computer because my current computer is doing a great job editing videos and whatever I'm doing, doing presentations, the spreadsheets, and then typing Word documents and stuff like that. So not for some time. It's just there's no need for me to do that. Clark, I always get insurance on my new phones because you never know. Kim, I would love to get insurance that actually works. But unfortunately, in Russia, and that's the ugly about Russia, you get an insurance and then something happens and you go to fix it and they're like, not covered. Like, what do you mean? You told me everything's covered. Well, just read the fine print right here. And they find a cost and it's not covered. And you end up paying for nothing. And still you pay insurance and you still get to pay for fixing your telephone. A plus Russian. You like Apple, but you replaced the screen and speaker, the keyboard twice. At that pace, you need Windows computer every 2 years. A plus. You see the difference. I did replace it, but I think it's just something wrong with this model because my previous one never failed. My telephones don't fail. My daughter has a Windows machine, and sometimes I take it and I cannot use it. Even if I replace the speaker and the keyboard, whatever, just they can't use the Windows machines anymore. I just saw No Shore Sean from Russia with love as usual. Good to see you. Great to see you. John, does Russia have consumer protection laws or product liability laws? John, yes, it does, but a lot of times they don't work. Meaning that the companies that sell you goods, they find their ways out. Steve, I have yet to have an Apple product fall prematurely. I still have a 20-year-old book that still works. Well, look at this, Steve. Brand new screen cost me, I don't know, $500. This is the chat, by the way. I'm looking at, and this is keyboard. This is number 2. The thing is, you cannot just replace keyboard here separately. It's called the top case. You replace the keyboard, the speakers, and the battery all in one block. They made it so you replace one thing, you must replace everything else, and it costs you a pretty penny. So you haven't, I have. This is it. You see, this is so new that I haven't even taken this out. Although this computer is 4 years old. This computer is 4 years old, but the screen, including the top, is what was replaced in June, May or June. Susan, iPhone 13 Pro Max gives you an improved triple 12 megapixel camera system. The Samsung S21 Pro has 108 megapixels. Susan, the thing is, in the past, I'm an amateur photographer, and I know quite a bit about cameras. And it's not just the count of megapixels. There's tiny, tiny cells that megapixels consist of. I don't remember how they call it in English, but anyway, they have certain size. The bigger they are, I think they call the grains or something like that. The bigger they are, the more light they can take, and yet the better the picture. Full frame cameras are very known for this large pixels, not pixel. It's like 0.9 nanometer or something like that. Anyway, the quality of picture is a combination of things. It's the lens, it's the processor, it's the algorithm, it's the system of anti-shake, the whole thing. And it looks like Apple here, they have hit the spot. This thing, so far, I've used it for one day only, and so far this thing is amazing. I mean, I'm streaming right now. It's been 214 minutes, so it's like 3 hours. And I'm still going strong on the battery. I'm not even to 20, let me tell you what I am. 30% left, which is I can go easily 4.5 hours. Fantastic. I mean, quality. Oh, you guys, I hope that soon you will appreciate the quality of videos, because it's much better than my old iPhone X, 10R, and you will see what this 13 Pro Max does. Haha, Ola. I confiscated Ola's charger. Okie dokie. Ola, if you're listening to me, your charger is in the living room somewheres. As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna give it back to you. I don't have it in the room right here. What the heck is that? Anyway, wait a few minutes, quite a few minutes, until I'm over with the stream, and I'll take care of you. Army's Hill, thanks for joining. North Shore. It's probably because I need to. The quality. I am back to the Y, and we'll see how the quality. Perhaps it's better now. Okay, guys, I'm not buffering. I'm just reading the comments. North Shardness, Sean, how are you, my friend? Guys, I would like, if you, some of them don't know who Sean is. Sean is a great guy from Canada. He is running, he's the host of a channel called North Shore Preparedness. And I like his channel a lot. If you guys haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's worth it. Sean is a very, very great guy. He does great streams. He's full of logic and common sense, a quality that misses. It's like missing a lot these days somehow. Sean, welcome. You're always welcome here. We have a little change. We have two moderators first time ever. That's a world premiere, to say the least. We have Lorna and Mommy, and they are my moderators. Well, not our moderators. Team Inside Russia was born today. Carol, I'd never buy an Apple MacBook Pro 15 from 16 to 20. Well, I have one. Still, which I mean, it's not as reliable, but I still use it. Natalia Panfilova Zuina, if you start streaming, I will be watching you every time. You let me know, please. Matt is here. Matt, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. It's been quite a long stream, and my tongue starts failing me, meaning I want to say a word, but it comes out differently. Natalia, it's not support. It's just I really have fun conversing with you, and thanks for the super chats. I find you very interesting. Great questions, great comments, and if you ever do streaming, if you ever like develop, grow your channel, I'm there. It's funny. This is again iPhone XR, and I started my YouTube channel. I registered it at the end of 17, October 17th, actually October 18th of 2017, and I said, okay, I need a good camera to start making videos. Then I got myself a decent camera. I'm like, no, I need good sound. I got a microphone, a Boya microphone. I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to make videos. And I was postponing started making videos for 6 months, okay? And I started making them in March of 2018. And all I did was I hooked up a cheap microphone to this phone, okay? And I bought this, well, not specifically for YouTube, but just to supplement my camera. And this been like the main camera for me. Little did I know that I bought the wrong telephone, because 10R is a great phone for everything except for the camera, because its camera is stripped down. It's the same camera as like iPhone 8, okay? And I didn't really know that until recently. And I should have gotten like iPhone 10, iPhone 11, or iPhone 12, and then I just didn't know. And my videos were, especially streams, were coming out like CRAP, and now I know. So I replaced the phone. Super chat. Thank you so much, Natalia. Fantastic. $3. Much appreciated. You start streaming, so super chats will be coming from my way. I was told, Julie F says, I was told to start my own channel, but YouTube would ban me real quick. but I don't really like to talk on video, so I just post my screen recordings to my Rumble. That works. Christine Jovi, Jesus is coming soon. Totally agree with you. It's just when it's soon. That's the question. Jesus was here 2,000 years ago. Was it a long time ago, or it feels like yesterday? And looks like we have a new channel or new collab being born. That's great, guys. A plus Russian should make a collaboration with Russian Plus. Imagine what great name for you guys both. A plus Russian and Russian Plus. Russian Plus and A plus Russian. North Shore Preparedness. Kay, your channel is growing weekly. Very nice to see you, my friend. Sean, thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy your streams. Unfortunately, in the past couple of weeks, I usually go to bed early. I wake up early. And if I wake up early around 5, 6, I catch your stream. But lately, I've been going to bed 2, 3, 1 in the morning. Waking up late. That's why I miss your streams. I'm never there. But I'm going back to normal mode this Monday because the lockdown is over. Well, you'll be seeing a lot of me soon. Bozhara Stefanova, good evening. Are you not allowed to go out? Good evening to you. Please receive my love from Russia. From Russia with love. We are. We can get in and out freely. The only thing that is not as usual is the stores. They're closed. Non-essential stores. The food stores are all open. The stores that sell apparel, like everything except for the food, they're closed. And the restaurants, cafes also closed. Everyone else is business as usual. I have enjoyed a couple days off. Fantastic time. Not great weather in Moscow, but hey, it's Moscow. What are you gonna do? Monica S, really good to see you. North Shore. North Shore, you are the man. Love your streams. A plus Russian. That collab would be cool. But he is back in Russia now. Plus, no pun intended. There is a bit of a difference in channel sizes between me and Russian Plus. Well, Slava is a cool guy. He's the channel difference doesn't mean much. If you are interesting and you present some interesting idea, I don't see a reason why Slava wouldn't collaborate with you. Try. Julie Constantine, I watch most of Sean's late streams. Then my always wakes me up at between 1 a.m. and I see. Ross, believe it or not, but yesterday, the day before yesterday, we had the weather here in the 60s. No snow. No snow, not even close. Today it's dropped down to low 40s, which we considered, well, probably high 30s. And the problem is the wind. The wind blows and The snow is forecasted in about 10 days, which is a little very harsh winter here in Moscow because we had a very, very hot summer. Usually, if it's hot summer, it's cold winter. $51. Sean, it's really strange, but it seems to me like we have the same weather patterns here in Russia, like in this part of Russia and in Canada. Our weather is almost the same. It's really strange. You watch, it gets cold here in Russia and Canada follows, or vice versa. It gets colder in Canada, Russia will follow immediately. Really strange. I mean, we live on the other side of globe, on other sides of the globe from each other, but still, huh? Charleston is not warm today, is it, Matt? EMS paramedic Liz, I know I've been quiet. Pain meds do that to me, but I've enjoyed this live stream. I've got to go for now. Be well, everyone, and have a peaceful Sunday. Um, how you like? Let us know how you're feeling. What's the news? Natalia, I have lots of family in Nizhny. My cousin works for developing plant landing wheels, plane landing wheels. So his work doesn't let him travel to the US. That's too bad. I'm getting a little tired here. 3 minutes to midnight. Still 48 people. It's pretty amazing. Um, it's been such time today. Christine Joey, when do you think that tsunami will hit East Coast? I don't know. Christine, I'm sorry, but I don't know. 100,000 years? I think the big tsunamis happen every 100 or a couple 100,000 years or 500,000 years. So I guess when the next super volcano blows out, that's what 400,000 years. That's about when the that's about when the tsunami hits the east coast. But then probably in the west coast of Europe and Russia will be affected. Everyone. 66, 43, 9. Frank, we had same weather a couple days ago. It was like 62, 63, and dropped down to 40s. Now it's colder, and the forecast is the weather is dropping. But hey, this is the first week of November. We always have sub-freezing temperatures here at this time. Christine, La Palma volcano. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, North Shore preparedness. I think La Palma is a tiny pimple that people shouldn't concern themselves with. I learned about this La Palma thing a couple days ago when somebody asked me in the comments if I knew about it. I didn't. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think it's that important. I don't think anything bad happens. I would worry about other things other than La Palma. Moscow is midnight just about right now, Ross. Liz, I'm having neck surgery on the 23rd. The neurosurgeon is replacing four cervical vertebrae with donor vertebrae and putting in a metal plate and screws to hold them together. Liz, I hope everything goes well. Definitely in my prayers on the 23rd. That's quite some time now. On a good note, I should say that it's not like the end of the world. My friend had that. We skied in Maine. We were skiing together, We skied one day and he did a salto and he landed right on he blew up one of the how do you call it like cervical vertebrae just shattered, and his hands his fingers started going numb on one hand, I think, or both hands, I don't remember. So he had one or two those pieces here replaced. Everything was fine. So you are definitely in our prayers, and I pray everything goes well too. Concerning the La Palma volcano, do you guys know how many volcanoes are erupting right now in the world? Like hundreds. It's no big deal. Carol, I have been through 4 cups of tea and had good time exchanging the battery on an iPhone and reprogrammed the model loco while watching the stream. I'm glad you've enjoyed. Um, the Armageddon is here, says Natalia, for sure. Oh, Armageddon is here. What do we do? What do we do now? Oh my god. I can't believe that this phone is still holding up. It's been 4 hours, and guys, I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon because I wanna go to bed and get some sleep today for a change. Okay, anything that I have left unspoken today? Can you think of anything? I think I have covered everything I wanted to cover today. You know, I gotta do these streams more interesting, more fun. If you guys, you know, can think of something, you let me know with a comment, but not right here, right now. But once I end the stream and it uploads on YouTube, load, like make a comment under that so it stays, because I usually don't go through the comments that are down below right now. Utah, USA. That's one place I would like to go and snowboard. The best snow, well, not the, but close to the best. Okay, guys, please. Let me know if you can come up with a good idea to make this stream interesting. I would like to give a huge thank you to the mods, Lorna and Mami, the team inside Russia is Born. Guys, thank you. It's been great fun today. Fantastic stream. Next stream on Saturday, I'm going to take you out somewhere. Perhaps we will drive a little bit for 10-15 minutes. park, and we'll I'll give you a walking tour of a place. It's been fun. Thank you, and I'll see you in the videos, and I will see you in the stream live next Saturday. You guys are awesome and you rock. Please, let's do this more. Okay. My wonderful moderators, am I forgetting something or we're good to go? Thank you so much. Thank you all for great wishes. Thank you. Fantastic stream. I'll see you soon.